doing?
You're
I should have
welcome
kids
to
and
me
fat
kicking a
wife,
patron out of my
Bible
club.
fighting.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Get the fuck out. Because you're not allowed, mate. You're not good enough for it. Get good, mate. Alright, that's that. Oh, my popularity is low. Guys, a lot of the cars that you look at are shite. I kept telling you, you know, use that website that Bruffy made. He tests all the vehicles and compares them to each other.
I'm gonna work the room.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's all nice and Christmassy in here. Ain't it so nice? It's just so Christmassy. And soon Christmas will be over. And everyone will got their gifts. And then that'll be that. Yep. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yep. Maybe 2024, we'll see.
Don't be a stranger.
I love that Spade and everyone else in the Discord's having an argument about who is with this girl that no one is ever going to be with. And have no idea. And I don't know, Spade's such an interesting character.
You know I like your club. We're gonna have a good
You would have won
party.
it, huh? Then why did you lose? Ah, okay. Sounds like the words of a loser, mate. No. Guys, 1 trillion is 1,000 of that. Get the fuck out of my way, people.
We got everything we need, thank you. It's going to be a great party.
Spending a couple thousand, about 30, 40,000 to get my popularity back up a little bit. Yes, I'll be seeing her on Christmas. I have not got anything because it will be going to Rebecca, so you have to ask her. Has he put it on off-road, guys? Damn, he left too. What did he say? What? Damn. Fair enough. Fair enough then, whatever, you know, whatever works. Alright, you got BJ the DJ back. Fuck Boris Johnson as DJ. And let's go sell. I do, yes. That's alright. Guys, with you end up not using any of the vehicles properly anyway, so no, it probably would not be worth it.
Great.
But I know what you're going to do anyway. I bought that ages ago, guys.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Yeah, what's cracking? Little Harper's.
It has in my tech. Yeah.
Bad news. Some local gangsters got word of this drop-off, and they want a piece. Try not to get hijacked, okay?
Maybe. Your guess is as good as mine, guys. It's okay. That's not the. Oh, okay. Well, that's not what I intended, but fair enough. Oh, blow, 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 blow. Ah, yes, got ya. Why? Why? To do what on? But why would you want to do them on the other character? Well, what does it give you? It gives you barely any money. Guys, you know how sometimes you think, oh yeah, that's going to be a really good idea, I'm going to make money off this. And yet, you still end up being poorer than me, even though I don't do any of that crap. Yeah, and maybe it's a sign that what you're doing is not efficient in the slightest. Because you have this really unending need for money, but then you don't do anything that actually makes real money. All the stuff you do just makes peanuts. Oh, I missed my drop-off. You just go into the terabyte and click source. Well, if you want to buy supplies, yes you do, but if you want to just source them yourself, you don't. But sourcing stuff is really slow and pointless. Alright, 700 grand. Chilling. Already made $1 million today. Haven't even tried, but I've already made $1 million. Excellent. I like this game. It's easy. No, I like GTA. It's just very boring. I like to play it here and there, but yeah, I won't be able to play it every day anymore because it's not exactly very, you know, all the stuff they add is so boring. Like the new missions are so boring. They need to add another heist.
Okay.
No more businesses, Rockstar. Just heist, please. I would even take a Michael heist, and I hate Michael, but I'll take a Michael heist any day of the week over the crap they give us. Fucking dax. Yes. That's cool. Who knows? Hey, Spade, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Neither did I. Let's do another Dax mission quickly. I need to get these ticked off, so you have to wait 1 hour, well, 48 minutes anyway, so...
Hello, fresh
Let's
meat.
get one done quick, and then we can
Yeah,
move
let
on.
me get back to you.
Good to hear, Spade. Good to hear. Alright, Daxi.
Okay.
Mount Gordo, huh? Thanks for letting me go all the way back up north. Oh, I heard about this one. Cave told me. You have to use a crop duster. Yeah. It's good that you don't know for sure. Well, the Dax ones. 50 grand. Not bad for you, not great for me. Alright, so let's grind some of these out for now, and then hopefully I will be done with them. Never have to do them again. I like how Spade. I like how you're having this argument with AF and Quartz about who gets the most bitches. What mission's that? Oh, the building one, yeah. It's a little bit tricky to get. It just happens. It just happens, guys. I'm in a cruise session at the moment, Spade. Alright, guys. Alright, let's get this going. Alright, so we've got to get it from the trunk of the Saddler. Maybe you don't do a crop dusting one on this one. Maybe that's another one. Wait. There's a helicopter. Oh, there is a crop duster. Yeah, there are crop dusters here. There's lots of crop dusters, actually, and there's also a bunch of people that are probably going to shoot me. Yep, they already shoot me. No, don't jump out. Oh, just get off. I wish you could crouch in this game. I'm glad GTA 6 to bring back crouching. Bloody hell, they are strong. I mean, yeah, you should use cover, really, but, you know, where's the fun in that? Being able to crouch would help a lot. I don't know why they would ever remove crouch. Like, GTA San Andreas had crouch. Even Vice City had crouch, although you couldn't move while crouching. You could crouch. San Andreas had crouch. GTA 4 had crouch. And then they're like, let's get rid of crouch and introduce stealth mode. But see, they could have just put stealth mode in crouch. And it would have worked just fine, like they did in San Andreas. Or maybe they could have, if they really wanted a separate stealth mode, they could have just double tapped the analog stick instead of having one tap for stealth and then one tap for crouch. They could have done all sorts of things, and they messed up. Finally, something to do with the crop duster. I remember in the trailer for GTA 5, sorry, there was a crop duster flying over, and I don't remember if they ever used that in the actual final game, so like the actual mission itself. And the crop dusters fly around, but they don't really do much. Oh, this thing is slow, come on. Bro.
Once you got the crop duster, just fly over the weed field and hit the release button.
Is the crop duster supposed to be white, or is Like, this would actually be amazing if it was actually the snow making it like this. I think Rockstar just made it a white one, but it looks like it's got snow over it, so good enough. I like that AF and Spade having a full-on conversation role-playing in the Discord. Love that. I'm not going to interrupt it because it's amazing. Ooh. Cool, cool, cool.
I don't want to die.
I like that. I like this mission. It's actually quite a fun mission, although it's a bit long for how much it pays. That's cool. Oof. Alright, which one should we go for? That one's closer. Hey guys. I like this. This is fun. Oh, there's a Maverick on me. Hello. No, it's a normal helicopter. Yeah, there's a Maverick just chasing after me. He's completely outmatched, but hey. What, guys? Maybe. Oh, what the hell? I got smoke coming out. Well, that's not good. There's black smoke already. That's really not great. Oh god, that's really bad now. Go, go, go. Full speed, full speed, full speed. Oh, it's already on fire. It's only the left-hand side so far, so that's not too bad, I guess. I mean, there's only one engine, so I'm assuming that any fire's bad. I hope in GTA 6 when you have like skywriting style planes and stuff like that, it actually stays in the sky longer so you can do some proper letters and everything in the sky. That'd be cool. I'm a bit worried. The smoke is getting worse. I remember my friend back in GTA 4 said, like, because I would come and pick them up in a helicopter, and he was like, yeah, every time Ryan comes along, there's black smoke. Why am I not surprised? And that's so true. I would always have black smoke coming out of my helicopters. A lot of it. My helicopters would be just between the working and not working. Right on the edge. The thing is, in GTA 4, vehicles didn't lose more like health. On GTA 5, if you damage your plane or helicopter to a certain point, they start losing health more and more, even if you're not being damaged anymore. Oh no, yeah, this might be out, maybe. No, wait, we're right, we're right. Yeah, it's all right. Oh Jesus Christ! Oh, this is going down. That Maverick just slammed into the ground. I've always hated that about GTA 5. Like, if your vehicle's already damaged, it will slowly lose more health. But when I talk about vehicles, I mean helicopters and planes. You scumbag! Like, what are you supposed to do in that situation? You can't do anything. Come here. It's disrespectful to attack someone who's unarmed. And you. Is it coming towards me? I feel like that was coming towards me a little bit. This game is rigged, man. What I was gonna do, and I mean, I can't do it now, but I was gonna just fly the plane into the tanker, like as a suicide thing, because I was like, ah, fuck it. But like now, I can't even do that because the damn game stole my plane by killing me and by the helicopter. I mean, what could you even do in that situation? I'm hoping in GTA 6 we have a lot more control over guns when we're in vehicles. I would like it if you, when you're driving a car, you should be allowed to pull out a assault rifle and shoot it from the car, but you should have, it's a trade-off. If you're using an assault rifle, obviously it's a lot longer. I mean, I know that I know a lot of them are compact now, but like if you had a longer one, like an M16, you would have a lot less stability to move it around where you're aiming, and also because you're shooting it one-handed. Maybe, I guess if you put your hands off the wheel, you could shoot two-handed, but you're gonna have a lot of issues like accuracy-wise and just recoil-wise. That would be cool, just more control. Same thing in the helicopter and in planes. If you could pull out a pistol and just shoot it, you should be allowed to. It shouldn't be restricted, because I could have pulled out a gun and used, I mean, in World War One, pilots of planes would shoot at each other with pistols and rifles in the back of a biplane. Like, that's just how things were back then. So, why can't we do that in this? Why can't we just pull out the old pistol and start firing it at the helicopter? Makes no sense.
Airspace entry granted. Make your way to the hangar.
Alright, what's this tanker doing? Why does it just stop? Has he crashed? Oh my god, he crashed, didn't he? He's actually... Wait, no, wait, is he just pulled over or is he crashed? No, he's crashed. He's went over the fence. Oh, what an idiot. How did you manage this? You dumb... You idiot. How did they manage to do that? He's on a straight too. I can understand if you're on a curve, but he's on a straight. That was a long mission, by the way. For 50 grand, that's a long mission. I'm not really feeling that one. Probably would have helped if I hadn't crashed the plane, but still. Whatever, it's done. Alright, let's move on. No, don't call me Ducks. What should we do now? I could do a Cayo Perico. I do want to hit 1.2 billion before New Year, so I do need to probably do a Cayo Perico or two. I also want to get my casino finished, or at least finished, like, getting it ready. Oh. Look who's joined the game. It's our favorite person in the entire world, Gareth.
Hey man, what's... Hey, they won't be
Oh, for...
expecting that.
The stupid X button. I pressed the X button, and for some reason it shot the rocket after pressing the X button to click on the phone. That's really unfortunate. Alright, yeah, let's do some casino stuff. Let's get some casino work going. I think... Alright guys, I think Mutt is... Let's get some materials ordered.
Hello? Okay, gonna cost a little. I know someone who has what we need.
You just keep buying supplies until it's full. Or sourcing them, but I'd recommend buying them. Alright, we're gonna do a good old Paige, because although I think I could do Ricky with this, it's risky because me and Rebecca haven't done these a lot in recent months. I haven't done them properly for over a year, so I'm a bit worried that we might be a bit slow on certain things. So we'll just do Paige. I mean, if we're looking for money, we're not going to do casino anyway. So if we're looking for money, we're going to do Kaya. So it's not a big deal. Let's do Paige. Plus, I like Paige.
Okay,
I do like Paige.
Obviously, the connoisseur's choice.
Okay, hacking device. I do like doing these in the snow. I think it's quite fun.
You might remember I directed your attention to some keypads when you were looking around the casino. Yeah, if we want to hack them, which
Guys, have you been
we do,
gooched again?
we're gonna need some FIB technology from their
No.
building on Pillbox Hill. But first, I'm directing you to some pretty awful G-men with passes to get you in. Thanks to your wardrobe, you don't have to pull a suit off a bloody corpse today. But you do need to take a security pass off one.
I haven't been gooched at all. The gooch doesn't like me.
I can't believe my eyes.
Does it? Cool. That's alright, yeah. Nice. I'll keep that in mind. I mean, you have to have the skill, but sure.
These guys are probably framing innocent taxi drivers for terrorism or torturing civil rights.
Man, I remember doing these all the time.
Ruining the best bits of the internet.
4 a night. Well, not 4 a night of these missions, but 4 a night of finales. Me, Rebecca, Dean, Yassine. Classic times, honestly. It's all changing now. Yassine has got a job now. He's got his car. You know, he's got all his friends, so he's going to be hanging out with them a lot more and doing all, you know, moving
You got
around.
those
And...
security passes, one way or another.
Damn. Ah! What happened there, Gaz? Did I mug you? I didn't mug you. Nah, I totally didn't. I would never mug you, Gaz. Merry Christmas, Spade. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone, and happy holidays to those who don't celebrate Christmas. There's a whole lot of holidays around Christmas time, so I think saying Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays is a pretty good thing. Oh, did you guys? Guys, you're gonna need to save up a lot of money for this new garage when it drops. It's over 2 million. Hey DZ, I'm pretty good, thank you. How are you doing? How are you doing on this fine period? This fine festive period?
How's it going, man?
Did he say how's it going, ma'am? It's very rude.
Holy hell! You made it all the way up. Now the device you're looking for should be on this floor. It'll be somewhere around. A metal briefcase, most likely. Don't linger around anyone too long.
No longer working
You don't
nights,
have that
early morning.
FIB
Oh,
engine stuck up
nice.
your ass.
Back to early morning. Well, off to early morning. Back off nights. Okay, guys. Yeah, watching the stream isn't the same when it's not live, I feel.
Lose the heat before thinking about heading back here.
I feel like this is a stream that works better when it's live because obviously a lot of it is interaction. Whereas I feel like some, like, you know, those really big streamers that don't have any interaction and their entire thing is just doing their own thing while chat goes mad. Those can be watched anytime because, well, you know, the chat just goes mad on its own. You can watch the chat. But I definitely feel like certain streamers and streams are better watching live. You're a TV director and audio engineer, and I'm on the shows is much more relaxed. Oh, that's awesome. That's actually a really cool job. I can imagine the nighttime ones are pretty crazy. There's so many jobs out there. You know, one thing I've noticed, one thing I realized when I became an adult, a long time ago now, but I started realizing just how many things are out there, how many different like roles and types of things you can do. And what really annoys me is that when I was at school, they would never really like give you an idea of all the types of things out there. They would only just give you like the obvious things. It's quite sad because I think there's so many cool roles and different jobs out there that people can do and they just never knew about them. 5 years of school. Well, hey, it sounds like, you know, you do it, you got something good to do for the rest of your life. So that's, I don't know. I would prefer to have something interesting in my life, you know, keep me going. So it sounds like it was worth it.
Okay, Croupier is at the Diamond carry security passes to get them, or us, through level 2 doors. I've identified a soft target spending their day off in a haze of booze and drugs. Sending you the location now.
Vinewood Hills, huh? I really wish I could get rid of that ugly icon of the freak shop. I don't like that icon on my map. It annoys me. But the freak shop, yeah, I hate it. I don't want to see it. Can't complain and then complain about rocks on your free time. Life is good. Yeah, that's living it, you know, living it up. That's life. You know, complain about Rockstar in your free time, you know, that is life. Your picture? No.
Okay, the group A is somewhere in this mess. Just
not
blend
really
in
look,
with
guys.
the party goers while I try to identify them.
Ooh.
Oh, and by blending in, I mean, I don't know, get a drink, dance, or something. Just avoid lingering too close to people you don't know. Stranger danger.
Why they keep saying the same thing over and over again? The Kyro changes are interesting, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are. It's certainly an interesting change to the game, like having to worry about the bodies. I feel like it's a cool idea, but the problem is that the game's not designed for stealth. There's no way for you to move bodies or camouflage them. You can't even shove them to a hedge or anything. So
Hello.
it makes Cayo Perico ridiculously not hard, but just much more frustrating. Because you can't just do what any normal person would do is and grab the body and then just shove it into the hedge. Or throw it off the side. I'm hoping with GTA 6 they really redo all the stealth mechanics.
Hiya.
Like, it's even Red Dead. Red Dead was really, really bad too, where,
Here we go. Found their Life Invader profile pic. Use it to find them.
like, Red Dead was really, really, really bad in a sense that you would shoot someone with a bow and arrow, and if he didn't die instantly, it would alert
How are
everyone.
you?
Instantly, and I think that's just really, really bad.
Hello.
Oh, you look just like him, except you've got blonde hair.
Ha! Someone had a bit too much, something. This is easier than I thought. Get the pass before they wake up.
The whole game needs to be balanced at this point, but I don't think Rockstar has it in them to do that. So the game is just a whole bug. The game is literally just a big bug. So there's no point. Just hurry up with GTA 6. That's what I say. Oh, Gaz. Did you end up actually ever watching all those leaks, Gaz? You never ended up seeing all the leaks for GTA 6? Shame.
Jesus.
You saw Lucia, didn't you? You like her? Jason. Yeah. Yep, getting two this time. And I don't know if I think they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah. So it's too bad, guys. He's her boyfriend already. You can't have her. No, she's not. She is not. Who's that? Your left hand? Claire who? Claire Hand? Lit Friday. Did you enjoy watching Friday the film last night, Spade? This is your new favourite. You can make 85k on a pay-per-hit every 15 minutes. Yeah, guys. Give 50k for a DAX mission. That's for every 48 minutes. Yeah, the DAX missions are really weird. When they were at 100k, they were okay, but then, of course, that was double money, so... Ooh, Duggan in the snow, my favourite. Yeah, that's a really bad... The whole thing is so badly balanced, to be honest with you. I don't know what Rockstar was thinking with that. I mean, they need someone to come in and just do all the maths and figure everything out. The thing is... You have Bruffy offering to help Rockstar. You have Bruffy offering to help Rockstar
You're through to Pegasus
with their
Lifestyle Management.
cars,
How can I...
and Rockstar just completely ignores them. Even though he would really fix up a lot of the issues with
aircraft
the
is
cars.
waiting for you at our nearest airfield. We trust you'll be
Alright, guys.
happy, sir.
And then there's going to be
Call
people
again.
out there
Goodbye.
who have really good math skills, and they would help with the money. And Rockstar again just completely ignores them. Like, Rockstar could just hire, even if it's for free. 'Cause Bruffy said he would do it for free, and I know that other people said the same thing. So many people would do the work for free to figure out how to balance the game better, and Rockstar could just say it's a community effort, and stick them in the credits as part of the community, community member help. And Rockstar, and then they don't do that. They just say whatever, and they leave it to themselves, and they never do it properly. So I'm just like, well, whatever at this point. The thing is, I think it's just them deciding at this point they've had enough, because,
Nice. The more these shipments
I mean, if you need
get
ideas,
destroyed, the
more
less they can use
heists,
to find and
easily.
destroy
Like,
you.
heists always were fun, always are popular, and there's a lot of heists they can still do, especially with Michael. They could do some really large heists with Michael. I think at this point they just don't give a fuck. After Red Dead, it kind of made sense that they don't give a fuck. But like at this point, like they have no excuse after they dumped Red Dead not to have enough time to work on it. Because back when they said we're giving up on Red Dead, I was like, okay, fair enough. It means they can focus on GTA, right? They can focus on GTA 6. Yeah, guys. They can focus on GTA 6 and they can focus online. And then they just said, and then just now they just don't care. Like they just completely given up on it. And think about this year has been the worst year for GTA Online content since probably 2014, which was understandable at the time because 2014 was the first proper year. Like 2013 was the first year it came out, but it was only for a few months. 2014 was the first full year of GTA Online, and there was even then there was a few decent things like the flight school, which I really liked.
Package destroyed. Oh yeah, baby. We're really weakening their position.
Yep. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, the I can understand summer. My way of thinking of it was that I was fine with a small summer update if it meant that the winter update was big, and that's kind of how it's been. Like with Cayo Perico, for example, the update that year was quite small, but in exchange we got a really big update for the winter. And then saying, well, actually, even the year after that was actually pretty good. The auto shop was fairly decent, still small but fairly decent with the contracts. And then we got the contract DLC at the end of that. And although I didn't really care for it, it was still a substantial DLC.
You got it.
But this year, we thought, okay, summer update's going to be small, right? So the winter update's going to be big. No, the winter update was tiny, and they've then for some reason decided to lock stuff behind drip feed, even missions. Like, if you've only got 6 missions, why would you then lock drip feed behind? Like, why would you then make drip feed for the other 6 missions, or however many missions are left? I can understand them drip feeding maybe heists. Like, I could have seen them doing drip feed for the Doomsday heist. That would have made sense. Do the first Doomsday heist, and then the second one a couple weeks later, and then the third one a couple of weeks later after that. Or even the original heist. They could have drip fed that. But for them to drip feed this 6 missions, 6 basic missions, that's ridiculous. I cannot believe that they've drip fed those. The 50-car garage should have been in there day one, yeah. Same with the missions. Both the 50-car garage and the mission should have all been there from day one. I'm going towards it, yeah. I know you did.
Is it done? Is it not done, is it?
Yeah, there's a 50-car garage that's being drip-fed to us in a few weeks. And it's basically, it looks like the normal 10-car garage that we get in our high-end apartments. You can customize the interior to make it like different color or different style, and then you get like, I think you get 5 levels of that. So 5, like how you have at the CEO office, you can have 3 20-car garages. You can have 5 10-car garages in one. I think it's the same concept. Unless if there's actually stairs between them, I'm not sure. There might be, I'm not sure, but either way, it's going to be like that. It's going to be like a room for 10 cars that go. So, yeah, it's something, but it shouldn't have been drip-fed at all. Yeah. I can understand the taxi stuff being drip-fed, because that could be like a little side piece of content. I can understand why that's being drip-fed. But the bloody garage and the missions, other main missions, none of that should be drip-fed. For them to say, oh, it's a multi-part update, and then all it is 6 missions, that's like per part. And they're not even like heist missions. If they had said like it's a multi-part heist update, with like the second part as a heist, I would have been okay with that. Like that's what I think, like how they did with the casino missions, where we had the casino missions, and those were actually really good missions, and they had lots of cutscenes, and you could tell they were really, really well done. Yeah, so if they had done it like that, the 6 missions, and then done the heist, like maybe even 6 months later, it would be okay. Like if we knew we were getting a heist in 6 months for summer, that would finish up the story, I would be okay with that. But no, it's not even that. Oh yeah, they're going to drag it all until summer. They're going to give us the other half of the update in probably February, March time, and then they'll drag it all until summer, and then summer's going to be some small DLC probably. And we're gonna have to wait for a whole nother year before we get anything substantial. And there's no guarantee that we'll get anything substantial in winter. So we might, like, the whole point that people grind these games is with the promise and the expectation that we're gonna get something fresh and exciting. And the same thing happened with Red Dead. As soon as we knew that the updates weren't coming, as soon as we knew the updates were dead, there was no point playing Red Dead. It was just like, well, what's the point? What's the point of grinding out another 1,000 gold if you're not going to have anything to spend it on? So Rockstar needs to keep making good updates so there's a reason to keep playing this game. Otherwise, what's the point of grinding anymore? What's the point of playing it anymore if there's not going to be anything substantial? They really need to stop messing around. That's the thing. I hope the next one's big, but this is summer. Like summer DLCs haven't been big for years. Like, they haven't been big anyway. They've not, like, all the heist updates have come out in winter, for example. So my faith is very low. My faith is an all-time low with Rockstar when it comes to online, like single player. I've got a lot of faith with GTA 6 after seeing the leaks. But online, I've got no faith at all. Yeah, Nightclub was quite a big one. Although it was a business update, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of business updates because they feel really lazy. Because they're just repetitive, really repetitive, boring content. The same boring set of sourcing missions. They're never anything really interesting to me. I want a narrative. So I'm worried that we're not going to get another big narrative-heavy DLC for a while. Like, even with this DLC with Dax, there was, what, like 3 cutscenes and that was it? Like, you don't even get a lot of cutscenes, man.
Shit, you need to start listening to Uncle Lester. This way's gonna be a whole lot harder.
So I've not got a lot of faith at the moment for Rockstar Online team. It feels like they moved the Red Dead team over to GTA. This bike is getting really affected by the bushes this time. More so than it ever. I swear it never got this affected before. But yeah, I feel like the online is, yeah, like maybe they moved the GTA Online team to GTA 6. And they moved the Red Dead team. Because this feels like Red Dead team stuff. This feels like Blood Money. Like, this DLC feels like a Blood Money style DLC. Just not very impressive at all. So I have a very bad feeling that that's what they've done. Because like the GTA Online team went from making Casino and then Cayo Perico the year later to the Contract to this. So it feels like it's not even the same team. It really doesn't feel like the same team to me. Like, how did you go from making all those big pieces of content to this? Fat. Honestly, if they haven't finished, if they are working on a movie DLC with, like, Michael, they need to hurry up with it. They need to bring, like, bodies into it because... Oh, fuck you. It's much harder to do this, because to do this one with the oppressor, you need to have, like, the jump. But Gaz started shooting them really early, so it didn't give me much of a chance to get in there and get the jump on them, so now I'm having to fight like a shit ton of police. Oh, this is painful. First person is easier when you're running, because you haven't got... I mean, I just prefer it. It's a lot easier to aim. It's a lot easier to control your movement. When you're in third person, your character feels like he's running on clouds. It's really floaty. Whereas in first person, your movement is very... like, where you want to move, you will move. So when you want to go left, for example, in first person, the character just... he might run on... like, if you're doing parkours, for example, third person, your character's going to go flying off the edge of things all the time because it just doesn't follow what you want to do. The slightest. It's one of my issues with GTA 5. The movement is really bad compared to older GTAs. And that stupid slide mechanic they do, where they slide off the edge of buildings and where they automatically climb up steps. It's so annoying. I just want to do what I want to do, and the game is trying to think for me, and I don't like that. It's like a Tesla trying to think where I want to go, and I don't want I don't want to go off the side. Like, the Tesla crashes you in the side of the barrier. I don't want to crash into the side of the barrier, but the Tesla says, ah, that's what he wants to do. Who the hell is that? Who is that? Why is there a red guy over there? It's not going so well for you, is it, Gaz? Guys, have you tried, like, escaping rather than fighting? That was a bit of a late parachute. I was seeing how far down I could go.
You got no manners,
But yeah, like when you're in first person, if I want to turn right, it's like that. I can control myself left and right really easy, forward, back. You know, I've got a lot more control of where I want to go. Whereas in third person, especially when you're in interiors, you're gonna have to turn a lot. Like, try to turn left is really slow. You feel like the camera's like, look at this. If I want to turn left, look how the camera is super slow. Like it's not turning left. I've got to really force my camera to turn. And if I want to just turn right, you see how he doesn't instantly turn right. He does a little run around. I guess they're trying to make it more realistic. But in first person mode, you can stop, turn right, turn left, go back. It just feels a lot better. It's not the best first-person mode that I've ever had. I mean, obviously, a proper first-person shooter still feels way better. But yeah, when you play in third person, it's a pain, and it's also because I used to get into a lot of combat situations with other players, and when you're playing like snipers, when you're sniping, you never want to be in third person because the sniping's shit in third person. At least on console. Like in third person, if you're sniping, you got this like feel like a lag. You have this like a lag on your character, where the character's momentum is like if you want to turn left and go right, there's like a bit of a lag on it, which is the momentum of the character turning. First person, it's super quick, super easy. There's no lag, it's instant. And so I used to do a lot of sniping. So in third person, hitting people was a lot harder. Because you obviously want to integrate the movement with the shooting, with the aiming. Whereas in third person, yeah, there's a lag on it, so it just feels like trying to hit these guys, plus trying to keep yourself moving quick. It's a lot harder to hit. It's still doable, but it's not as nice. No, Gaz, I'm just waiting for you to finish. Because it doesn't let me finish the mission until you've finished whatever you're doing, so... Unfortunately, in Red Dead, it doesn't work the same. Red Dead, I didn't like the first-person mode of Red Dead. I still use it for combat with sniping, but when you're in any other sort of combat, it's horrible. Oh, and also recoil is ridiculously low. In third-person mode, if you use for example, an MG, here's my favorite thing about first-person. Let's use the MG. In third-person mode, there's a lot of recoil. It's not that bad when you've maxed out your character, but there's a lot of recoil. In first-person mode over here, the recoil is way less. As you can see, the recoil is way less. And it does get bigger and bigger, but the bullet spread in third-person is still, you know, much higher than in first-person. So, yeah, first-person is better for like auto-aiming with the machine gun. Yeah, a lot of little things. See, GTA 5, because the first person was added in later, it has a lot of those differences, and I think they tried fixing that in Red Dead. They made the first person a lot more floaty in Red Dead to match the third person. But there's still the ridiculously high aim on it. And the movement's still a lot easier overall, so yeah. But it's in Red Dead is a lot less. There's a lot less of a difference between first and third, whereas on this game, there's a massive difference. You can't believe that people still grind that game. I mean, there is nothing. I don't know why anyone would grind Red Dead anymore, unless if you're starting out from scratch and you've never played it before. Like, in which case, I can understand. If you've never played Red Dead before, it could be well worth it. You know, there's a lot of content to play, but you shouldn't play Red Dead with the intention of grinding out for future content, because, yeah, that's not happening. Unless if Rockstar just announces out of the blue that they're doing a PS5 version of the game, an Xbox Series version of the game, that online updates are returning just for those two versions of the game plus PC. Like, I don't even think they care about that, because they haven't even released a single-player version. Like, can you believe that one of the most popular games of all time sold 44 million copies or whatever it was, and they still haven't made a next-gen version of it? 2 years into the next-gen, they still not bothered to make another version yet of Red Dead, guys. Because they could easily make another one, you know. They don't have to do much, just stick FSR 2 in it, like they do on PC. Stick FSR 2 in it. Run the game at 4K. 60 FPS. That's it, that's all they gotta do. And the game is already looking beautiful enough, they don't need to do much more than that. That's the bare minimum they could do, and they could make a ton of money from it. So I don't know why they won't. They just don't care about Red Dead. I genuinely think they just don't give a fuck about it. I've never seen a company that hates their own products the same way that Rockstar hates them. Because like any company that makes a smash hit like that is going to think, how can we make more money? How can we make more copies? You know, sell more copies of the game. And it's an easy way to do it. Just release an updated version on the next gen. And Rockstar's like, 44 million copies or whatever. Nah, we don't need any more than that. We don't like our products. Maybe whoever liked Red Dead has left.
Get yourself out of there.
I think I could reach it from here. You can. Excellent.
Got it. Now get out of there. You could have done this clean.
Oh, come
Now you're
on.
gonna have to get dirty. Deal with them.
You didn't see me, don't lie. Fine then. If we have to do it loud, we have to do it loud. Come on, I know you can go over it a little bit. Now, the AI in this game is actually ridiculous. They're right in front of you guys. We had got the guard roster, by the way, game. Man, stuff like that really is just dumb. And that game, like, you could just tell whoever designed this didn't think this one through. Like, if you've already got the guard roster and sent it to... It's because you blocked the car gas. You're not supposed to blow it up, it's alright. Whoever designed it didn't think, oh yeah, if you've already got the guard roster, it shouldn't fail if you block the car. But then for some reason, Rockstar was like,
So, that wasn't how I saw it going. We're gonna have to find another way to handle
I'm
this.
really wondering, is it just that the people that work on the game are that useless, or do they just not care? Or are they not allowed to care? Like, does the management hate the game so... Like, I feel that the management hates the games. I always get this vibe that the people at Rockstar hate the fact that they make games, and that they wish they could be making music. Because like, Rockstar's got this obsession right now about making music and that dumb record company they have. And I'm like, do they really want to be a video game company, or do they want to be a music company? I mean, they're literally named Rockstar. Do they? I think they genuinely just want to be a music company. And that they hate the fact that they have games, because then they have to make them. Like, the workers probably go to Rockstar thinking, oh, you know, it's a great company, I want to make awesome games. And then they meet the management. The management's like, yeah, shut the fuck up. Get to work. We don't care. Get to work now. Do your work. And they're like, oh, well, I want to have this idea. I've got this idea. Can I implement it? No. No. Get to work. No, guys.
So, what was it? Oh yeah, we're going after the guard patrol routes. These dumb cowboys actually keep heart.
Because it doesn't feel like there's any heart. If you play any game from a game company that actually has heart, you always feel like the game has love to it. Like, you know, like you feel like the game was made with love and care, and that someone's really put their heart and soul into it. But when you play GTA, it always feels like someone's like had to just do a job for their money. They're like, yeah, we need a game, we need an update idea. Okay, good, and then that's it. It never feels like it's been really lovingly thought out. Alright, guys, I'm gonna change the minimap because, again, I don't know why they never added the ability to change the minimap automatically, or you know, through the game like you can on Red Dead. Whoever did that on Red Dead is a saint. Thank you for that idea. being able to change the mini-map without having to go into settings. You know what's funny? Here's a good way that they can do it as well. You know how when you have a small mini-map, if you press down on the D-pad, it makes the mini-map bigger?
That looks like the right car.
They could have done the same thing on GTA with the mini-map being big, but just made it the other way around. So if your mini-map's big by default, when you press down on the D-pad, it makes the mini-map small. And then if your mini-map's small by default, you do it, and it makes it big. I don't know why they didn't think like that. That's such an obvious thing. But again, this is Rockstar, and I just don't think they care. I just think it's the management. The management doesn't give two fucks about the game. Also, I want to know who the hell at Rockstar thought, oh yeah, let's make stealth sections where the AI can see a good 4 feet ahead of them, and that's it. Nothing says stealth more than walking 4 feet away from an enemy. And they can't see you. I mean, I guess if it's like nighttime with snow, it makes sense, but daytime makes no sense. That was sketchy, that little section. I don't like going to that corner. One thing I like about what GTA 6 is showing off already is, so you know small minimap. You know how on this version of the game, on GTA 5, look where the icon is for the player. It's quite far down, and if you've ever played online, well, most people have, you'll know it's very, very stressful when there's a jet flying around behind you and you don't know how close they are. It's just very hard to see how close they are. You've got to turn the whole screen around so you can see. And that's one of the reasons why I like having big minimap. It just, you know, it puts your icon a lot more closer to the middle. While on GTA 6, it seems to be that the small minimap has the icon much closer to the middle as well. So that is wonderful. Thank you, Rockstar, for doing that, because fuck the icon being at the bottom. Yeah, I guess they will. EMP device. Ugh. Don't like doing EMP, but we're gonna do it. Alright, guys. Alright.
You know, I once got turned down for a comp sci professorship over at ULSA. So, in retribution, I hacked their staff server and left a back door so wide a drunk and freshman could stumble through it. Anyway, thanks to my incredible foresight,
You know, I was thinking,
they have a piece of
I wonder if the reason why they made the casino missions one player playable now is that someone was sitting there thinking this content is really bad, that there's not a lot of content. So they thought, how about if we make the casino one player? That means that all the people that never played the casino missions before can now play them. And hence there's more content. Because it just seems very random that they would pick all those missions out of the blue and just make them one player playable. I mean, they made no sense needing 2 people for them. Yes, I'm ready, Spade. I would like them to do Casino Heist solo, but I would want them to make it so that the money was a lot more restricted for solo. Like, there needs to be an incentive to play with other people. The trade-off being that playing with other people can often go wrong. But that being that you're less in control when you're playing with other people, but hence you get a bigger payoff if you succeed. I mean, really, they should have done that for Cayo Perico. They should have made it so that if you deliver 4 people, you should have got a massive bonus on top of the standard heist. Call it a, you know, part of the challenge that they they for some reason thought, nah, no point. And so everyone does Cayo Perico solo. And I feel that's kind of the worst part, because it's like, if you're going to make the game entirely solo orientated, then you might as well just make it part of single player. Like, what's the point of having an online game if you never play online with other people, you just play on your own? So I say that as I do this mission pretty much on my own. That's not lost on me. But I do miss... One of the things I used to love about GTA Online, and one of the things that kept me coming back to it, was playing with other people. I used to love grinding out the Pacific Standards and the Doomsdays, and eventually Casino. I love grinding those out with my friends. And then Cayo Perico came out, and I thought, oh, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grind it out as friends. And then we realized when you play with 4 people, you get barely any money each. You get like 800 grand each. Versus what you could get, which is like, what, 1.3, 1.4, sometimes a little bit more on your own. And it's like, well, at that point, what's even the point? Now, I guess you could argue, well, each person could do each of the heist preps on their own, grind them out, you could come together. Yeah, true. But again, even that is boring. Grinding out heist preps on your own is really boring. I've always preferred the setup approach. I really miss the old Pacific Standard setups, for example. Starting off a heist as your crew, with your crew, working your way through, and then getting the big payout at the end. You know, you get through the ups and downs of the heist and get that big, juicy payout at the end with your friends. It's such a great feeling. And even with randoms, a couple of weeks ago I did it with randoms during that heist event, and I did it twice with randoms from start to finish, and it went really well, and everyone was fantastic. And I love that. I love when you find a good crew with each other. You find yourself a good crew where everyone ends up being really good. I gave everyone 25% each because they were so good to play with. I didn't care about the money. To me, it was just, damn, these people are really fun to play with. Like, we had a great time. And that's something I've not had with Cayo Perico. One of the reasons I don't like Cayo Perico very much is because I do it all on my own all the time. And I just miss that interaction. And the best part of online should be playing with people. And as a game developer, you need to do your best to make playing with other people as fun as possible. A game like Payday 2, for example, playing with other people is what makes Payday 2 really fun. And the lovely thing about Payday 2 is that it doesn't matter how many people you play with, you're going to get the same amount of money. So even if you're playing with 4 people, you're going to get the same amount of money as if you play on your own. You're not going to lose money because you're playing with more people. You're going to get the same amount as what you would have got. And if you play with someone and, you know, you can't just kick them out at the end of the heist to get more money because you get the same amount. So it may not make the most logical sense where everyone just gets the same amount of money, but at least it's fun. It means that there's no incentive to kick people out at the end, and it means that you don't have to worry about playing, you know, on your own to make the most money. Playing, you know, you can play with as many or as little people as you want, and you'll be fine. And I wish that Rockstar would just think about that, because again, it shouldn't be about. I get it; they want to make it more realistic, or at least they wanted to. But you need to think about it from the perspective of what is fun. And Cayo Perico, in its current form, is just ridiculously unfair and biased towards single players. So I wish that Rockstar would think about that. Yeah, I mean, that's true. People did get turned off from heists with other people for that, but that's partly because the heists were really poorly designed with, if anyone failed, the game failed, which I think was where it went wrong. If they had made it so that if other people died, it didn't fuck up the heist, it just meant that you would have to continue on, then it would have, and it would have been fine. But they made it, what made it really, really annoying was that people would die, and then the mission would fail, and you'd have to restart from a checkpoint, and the checkpoints were never really well done. And so it just frustrated people. Which is not something that happens with Payday. If people go down in Payday, they go into jail, and then you can trade them for a hostage. And if you could do something like that in GTA, where you could trade them for a hostage, or they come back after a certain amount of time, or you could revive them at the very least, if you could revive people, I think the game would have been a lot more fun. Like, imagine if someone fell off their bike in Pacific Standard and went down, and you would have to turn your bike around and go revive them. It could have been an interesting challenge. But, of course, Rockstar didn't think of it in the sense of, oh, how can we make it fun? They just made it, oh, well, fuck you. That's the problem. Rockstar doesn't approach it like someone who's trying to make it fun for people. Which is really sad, because you should. You should always, when you make a game for online, try to design it so that it's fun. Challenging is fine. And I can understand if they put like an ultra hard mode, like a death, like a proper, you know, death sentence mode, where if you go down once, that's it, the whole heist fails. That's fine too. But you need to make it so there's tools that people can use to revive each other. The fact that you can't revive each other, you have so little health. You have so little health that if you are, even if you're spamming snacks, you can still get insta-shot, you get shot in the head and insta-die. That is stupid. You get shot so quickly and with so much damage, you can't think. So Red Dead fixed that by making it so that you have a little bit more health, and your health regens as long as your core is full on. And having revives. Yeah, Red Dead revives are shit though, to be fair. They work, but they very rarely work. You die usually and that's it. So having a guaranteed revive, unless if you like fell off a building or something, would be good. So if you die, if you get hit by a car and you go flying and then you're on the ground on the final chase in Pacific Standard, other people could come, stop their bikes, two people get off and start shooting police, one person could revive. That could be really, really interesting and really, really fun. But for some reason, Rockstar was like, we don't want that kind of thing in our game. We just want people to die and then have to restart over and over. And that's what made it so frustrating, was having to restart time and time again from checkpoints that were miles back. Because, again, they just didn't think. That's my issue with Rockstar and with GTA's heists. But if they learned from that, they could make a really, really fun multiplayer heist. I mean, the fact the game's been out for 9 years now and they still not implemented a revive mechanic. I mean, that's just dumb. They don't touch the game itself. What they do is they just add little superficial changes, but they never actually touch the core of the game. They never go in and say, let's change the mechanics, let's change the way the game plays. Something like revives would not only change heists, but it would change PvP, it would change free roam. I mean, it could change everything. Having it in PvP modes would absolutely change PvP. And if you could crawl, if your character could be on the ground and crawl behind cover, that would change. I mean, we've seen that happen with games like Fortnite, where they've gone in and changed the game mechanics completely from the start. The game of Fortnite is so different now. When I played it a couple of weeks back, or a week and a half ago, I played it, and I didn't even know, because I forgot. I'd seen it, but I forgot that you can slide. And I didn't even know how to do it, because when I played Fortnite last, there was no such thing as a slide. But Rockstar doesn't do fuck all when it comes to the game. They just ignore it. They do the little superficial changes, but they never actually go in and say, yeah, let's change the mechanics, let's change the entire game. And I don't know if it's because they're terrified of breaking it, or if they just don't know how to. Maybe the people that knew how to don't work there anymore, or they work on GTA 6. But I mean, the game... The problem with this game, and I think the reason it's so boring now, is at the core, it's the same... Bloody hell! That guy wiped my health. It's the same core game that we played 9 years ago. There's no difference in the game other than what we do for money making, and that's about it. Fucking hell. And as you can see, the other change they've made is made the AI ridiculously OP, because people have so much equipment now. They kept giving us more and more equipment, like Mark IIs. They have to make the AI ridiculously OP to compensate. And now, if you're going in anything but a Mark II, you die so quickly because the AI is so accurate and so deadly. And again, that's because they don't think about making. They've made this game. The whole game revolves around dying and respawning. That's the whole game. It's dying and respawning, dying and respawning, dying and respawning. And I think that's the wrong approach. I think the approach should be about making the game so that you survive as long as possible. Like, you know, Red Dead's a lot more like that, where dying is kind of punished a little. Not punished, but the whole point of it is to stay alive as long as possible. They give you tons of food, they give you the health regen and the cores, and the whole point of it is to stay alive. You actually can tank a few shots. This game is like, if you die, whatever, just respawn. Yeah, it is. It's at its core. Like, look at that. It's ridiculous. At the core, it is an old game, and the problem is they never went in with the idea to change it to keep up with the times. And so when you play it, that's why I think it's so boring. Is because it is a game from 2013 that never really changed. Fortnite, if you played Fortnite in 2017 and you go and play it now, it's a completely different game. And every year they change it. And so it stays fresh. They add new things. They see what other games do well, and they add it. And I love that. Like, I remember when they added vehicles at one point. Like, I mean, that's just mad to me. Because when I last played it, there was none of that. But Rockstar doesn't care about updating the game. The game is still 2013 at its core. And everything that they add is, like I said, just superficial, just extra crap that they stick on top. And so the core game is just not very good. This fucker over here, man, he's... And one thing I'm not a fan of in this game, for example, they added heavy armor, right? So you have heavy armor on heists. A lot of people don't know about that, but on the OG heist there's heavy armor. But it doesn't work in any other game mode. Like, it doesn't work in free roam, it doesn't work in the Doomsday heist, it doesn't work with any other mode. So that heavy armor is completely cosmetic in 99% of, well, 95% of the game. They didn't go back and implement it so it works on all the old missions. They didn't bother to keep it supported in new missions. So there's a piece of armor that just... It's so arbitrary. It just makes no sense why that heavy armor works in one set of missions and nothing else. I'm just hopeful the GTA 6 fixes a lot of this stuff. I'm really hopeful that Rockstar will know about this stuff and realize that it's wrong and it's bad, and they completely GTA 6 start from scratch. They need to. They really, really, really need to make a game that can keep up with the times. And even Red Dead, they tried to. I remember with Red Dead, with the first major update in 2019, they did that big movement update where they changed the movement. But all the complaints that people had, they didn't fix those. The issues that people had were things like picking up animals and skinning animals. That was what people said was too slow. And then what Rockstar did, for some reason, is not fix that. They made the gameplay really quick. So they made the running and all that really, really ridiculously quick. And it just meant that the online became not very fun because people went from, you know, a little bit more of a thought, you know, having to think a bit about where they are moving to and, you know, staying in cover. It went from that to basically people running around, shooting, jumping non-stop to kill you. And it ruined the online PvP on Red Dead. So maybe they're a bit worried about changing stuff because they don't want to make the game worse. But I feel they need to look at Epic and just kind of learn it. Yeah, things may not always work out, and if they don't work out, you can change it back. Like Epic's done that before, where they've done stuff and it didn't really, people didn't like it. And you know what Epic does? They say fuck that, and we'll go back and revert. You know, the next update will change it back. And sometimes they might even go back to that mechanic and then improve it later on and give it a second chance. And that's what Rockstar should do, but they don't. Rockstar is a single-player company in a multiplayer world. They have not kept up with the times, and we've seen it with how they do all their marketing. Their marketing is so shit for modern era. Like, it's fun, don't get me wrong, I love the whole build up to a new GTA when they dropped the update. They dropped the new GTA trailer and we all wait and excited, all the talk. But in this day and age, you can't, especially online games, single player games, sure, whatever, do it like that if they want. But the online side of things needs to be more, you know, they need to be constantly doing interviews, constantly be talking about their new stuff. You know, showing people off in community betas and stuff like that. Whereas they still treat the online like it's a single player game, where they don't talk about the update for, you know, 5 months, and then they drop a little newswire post maybe a week before, and then they drop the trailer like the day before of that. And it's like, well, yeah, that's great and all for a big single player game, but this is an online game, Rockstar. It's not very fun waiting 5 months with no information about what's coming. Like, imagine if Fortnite did that, or, you know, Call of Duty, Activision, or they just didn't talk about anything for 5 months and then dropped an update. And the news of it was like a couple of days before the update came out. It'd be so shit. And they don't talk about all the issues when people say, oh, there's this, there's that. Other companies come out and write a post saying, yeah, we've heard about these issues, we'll be fixing them. Rockstar just doesn't say anything, and then you might get it fixed in the next update, you might not. They just treat the game like it is a single-player game from 2001. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's that the management is so out of touch. Maybe it's all the people from, you know, a decade ago who are still in those positions, and they really need to be replaced with someone younger, someone who knows what to do to keep the game interesting, and how to keep the community involved. Like, they sometimes do these community events, like the heist event, right? But then they don't bother to design anything like a meter, like that shows everyone how close they are to hitting the target. The social club has completely been just abandoned. It's really shit. It used to be really cool when it came out with Max Payne 3. It was really, really cool, and it was one of the best. And it's crazy to say this, but the social club was one of the best online portals for a game ever. Like, at the time, it was amazing. No other game had, like, Call of Duty had that weird Call of Duty hub thing that they were doing on the PlayStation and Xbox. You had to download like an app, and it was really clunky. Some other companies had like very basic web portals, and then Rockstar had the social club, and it was fantastic. And then they added the cruise for Max Payne, and it was really, really cool. And they've just completely abandoned that. And then online for GTA 5 came out, and it had some cool things like some stats and stuff like that. And that's just slowly been removed over the years. They've removed bits, and then they did that really big redesign where they made it more mobile friendly, and any sort of uniqueness to Rockstar, any sort of theme just got removed, and it's just so bare bones and so bland now. Like, it doesn't feel like Rockstar anymore. It feels like just a large corporation. It's very sad. Yeah, like, I don't know, the updates did used to mean something as well, and yeah, like, I feel like Rockstar's got worse with the updates, like, when it comes to communication. Like, back when GTA 5 came out, they at least communicated quite a lot with people about what they're going to be doing with the heists, and how the heist is still coming, and, you know, all this and that. And they used to do magazine articles and stuff like that about the heists, and then they just kind of slowly lost it, and every year it's just got less and less. Like, they just get less and less involved with the community, which, to be fair, I can understand, because the community is shit. If you ever want to lose faith in humanity, go on Twitter and look up the Rockstar community. That is the most... Oh, I'm not going to lie, it is one of the most cringiest groups of people I've ever seen. It is... I don't blame Rockstar for not wanting to communicate and talk and hang out. But I remember I used to be in... I was in 2 different... I always like to say this story because it reminds me of best times. I was in 2 different Rockstar live streams back in GTA 4 era. A Ballad of Gay Tony stream and a GTA 4 stream, and you can still see the. I actually found, I looked up online, and I managed to go through like a shit ton of GTA forums and found a video of someone who recorded the streams, and they actually have me driving them in a car in Cops and Crooks. And that was back when Rockstar actually cared and actually did live streams to the community and got people in, and it was great. And they wrote a big article, and you can actually still see my name in the article. And it was great. It was so much fun, and yet they don't do anything like that anymore. They just, and I don't blame them because the community's shit. Like, everyone just treats everyone like shit now, but it sucks because it was so exciting to be part of those events and to
The first rule of the art of war is to
just,
know
yeah,
your
be
enemy,
there.
which I interpret to mean observing their
I think
every
part of
move,
it is
trying
because
to extremely
online
discreet
events have become a lot like online social media has made everyone have an opinion, and I get everyone should have an opinion and be able to share it, but like a lot of these opinions online, they kind of border on hate. Like, don't get me wrong, I complain about Rockstar, I'm complaining right now, but some of these people border on straight up just like hate, like pure hate. If you ever go on Twitter and just see the stuff, I mean, I spent a lot of time on there before I quit Twitter, because I hate Twitter now. I'm not going to ever be involved with Twitter again. But, and I'm glad actually that Elon bought it, because he ruined it even more than it was already shit, but he made it worse, and I'm glad because it gave me the reason to delete it. And honestly, I still have a Twitter account, but I don't use it. It's just there to redirect people to my other social media. But I'm glad I don't have to use it anymore. Oh, you think it was just... It used to be. At times it would just be. But there was some real hateful bastards on there. Like, real hateful people that would straight up just attack everything Rockstar did. Even if it was good stuff. And it wasn't like, oh, just like, oh, this isn't as good as I thought. Like, this is people just demanding it to be, like, Rockstar to, like, shut down. And people, you know, there was someone who I conversed with who was talking about organizing a protest where they would, like, break in through the doors. And then he was talking about, like, bombing Rockstar and shit. And I reported him to, Twitter, and they never did anything about it, but he was like talking about bomb. No, I think they did something about him eventually, like 6 months later. But yeah, he was talking about like organizing like a protest and forcing their way in New York, and saying that people need to stop taking this from Rockstar. Like, bro, look, I get fed up as well, but bro, you don't need to break into Rockstar and threaten their fucking developers because they're shutting down Red Dead, or they're not doing like Red Dead updates anymore. Like, the whole Save Red Dead Online thing just led to so much hate and harassment of Rockstar. Every post they would post, people criticizing, saying, Save Red Dead, and then people going on about it in the comments about how terrible they are and how they don't deserve their fans. And I get it, you know, it's very frustrating, but bro, you haven't got to be saying you want to bomb Rockstar and shit. Like, talk about how they're gonna get F-16s and fucking blow up Rockstar. I mean, who does that? Who talks about stuff like that? Especially in a post 9/11 world. Who the fuck goes around talking about bombing? Like, over that, like, over something so stupid. Yeah, nutcases. I mean, it was ridiculous. And I got involved. I mean, when I say got involved, I mean I kind of infiltrated a lot of these people to see what else was being said. And my god, the people, the narcissistic. I mean, you know, everyone I think is a little bit narcissistic, and especially streamers. I say that about myself as well. You have to like to hear your voice a little bit if you're gonna be a streamer and a content creator. But these people are the most narcissistic motherfuckers I've ever seen. Like, everything that Rockstar did, they would have to make about themselves. About how they've ruined it for them, and how that they used to be big fans and all this shit. Like, bro, shut the F up, like. These people are nutcases. Trust me, it's... Yeah, the professional really went down in my estimations. I never really liked the professional, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to be bitchier or kind of, you know, I don't wanna like I don't like to speak ill of other people I don't know, but I never liked the Professional, but I never hated him either. I just had no interest in him. Like, I always thought, oh yeah, he's quite good at grinding. Fair play to him, really. You know, he's harmless compared to a lot of the YouTube people who do GTA stuff like Mr. Boss and all that. But then he started really losing it in that year, like with the Save Red Dead Online stuff. He really went down in my estimations. He went from being a fairly reasonable person to just being a constant like source of shit to do with Red Dead. And if Rockstar did anything that wasn't Red Dead, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, it's shit that Rockstar banned Red Dead, and they shouldn't have. They should have at least supported it for. I mean, there's no. I think that people need to understand that Rockstar has no obligation. They supported the game for 3 years. That's more than most game companies support their games. They got support for 3 years, and people saying, "Oh, I want a refund for Red Dead," bro. You got a single player that was one of the best single player games. Look, I'm not a big fan. You know me, I'm not a big fan of the story of Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm much more of a Red Dead Redemption 1 fan. But look, Red Dead Redemption 2 was a fucking amazing game. One of the best of all time. Still. And yet people were saying, oh, I want a refund. You know, Rockstar needs to give us refunds for buying the game 3 years ago, 4 years ago. For the single player, and that because they didn't support the online as much as I wanted, I deserve a refund. That's such BS. Like, they supported the game for 3 years. Was it the best content? No, the content was not the best, but they supported the game for 3 years, and you never signed a contract when you bought the game that obligated Rockstar to support the game forever and provide the content you wanted. So, as much as it's shit, Rockstar should definitely have, in my opinion, continue supporting Red Dead and giving it more support and made a heist. The way that people were talking about how Rockstar banned them and that they were betraying them. People were talking about how Rockstar's betraying them and how Rockstar's taking advantage of them and all this shit. I'm like, bro, like, calm down. Like, it's not, like, look, Rockstar's definitely not the company it used to be, but bro, it's not that deep. Yeah, like, that's the thing. People felt like they were owed something. And like I said, like, Rockstar never said they were going to do that forever. Like, they said that they were going to support Red Dead Online, but they never said that they were going to, you know, support it forever with, like, the biggest content. Like, I don't know why people were entitled enough to think that they were going to get everything they wanted. Oh, yeah, like, I don't know why he thought he was important enough. Like, yeah, he's got a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers and all that. But I don't know why he thought he was important enough that he could change Rockstar's mind. Not to mention, why would Rockstar care about someone who just makes videos about them? Like, clearly Rockstar felt that the money wasn't enough for Red Dead. Now, I do feel that the reason that a lot of people didn't support Red Dead Online is because they didn't put enough effort into it. If they had dropped a heist upset, like a heist DLC, bro, 100% I think people would have come running back to Red Dead. I think Red Dead would have got a massive boost in support. And I do feel Rockstar never gave it the fair shake that it deserved, but they can do what they want with their game. It's their game. And if they feel like they don't want to put that much time into it, that's their choice. And people were really acting like it was, like they had a thing to, like they you know, or because we said it, they should do it kind of thing. That whole organization, well, not organization, but that whole movement was just so negative and hateful. It wasn't like fans coming together to show Rockstar why they should love the game again. It was a bunch of people coming together to harass and to basically low-key threaten them into making more content. It was never a passion like other companies do. Like we see these other movements with other companies where it's all passion and then show, you know, coming together to show how much they love the game. With Rockstar and Save Red Dead, it never was that. It was just straight up almost harassment, like low-key harassment. And that's why I never supported the Save Red Dead movement, because to me it just was a bunch of entitled people being very rude. Yeah, like, it's a different game. Like, they don't have to support Red Dead the same way they support GTA. It they don't feel like it. Like, maybe the money wasn't... Maybe... Like, yes, I do feel like, yes, they could have done it different and they would have done better, but with the way they did it, they weren't probably getting enough money for them to justify. Like, yeah, they probably were still making a profit, but they probably felt we could make more money by doing Red Dead GTA updates instead. And I think that's probably what happened. I don't know, that whole time was mad. Alright guys. I will be on tomorrow, yes. I will probably be on tomorrow. I'll be on Christmas Day, but a little bit later, and I'll be on Boxing Day a little bit later, but I'll be on all those days. Alright. Speak to you then. Bye. You too. Bye. I love Gaz. But yeah, I don't know. It's so sad to me that this is what. That whole group was just mad, and yeah, if you went on Twitter around that time, it's still bad. There's still people on Twitter who, their whole thing. Oh, and bro, look, I'll tell you this shit. I don't know, like I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this, but I'm going to. All right, so on Twitter, yeah, get this. There was a group of people. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of him. I don't know if any of you use Twitter with GTA. There's a guy called Videotech, Ben. Ben, his username is Videotech, and I'm not gonna lie, he can appear. He flip flops a little bit. I mean, we all flip flop on things, don't we? But he flip flops. At one point, he's saying, "I'm not buying GTA Online. I'm not buying the new gen GTA because it's not good enough." And Rockstar didn't support Red Dead, and then he turned around and supported it, and anyway, he pissed a few people off because a lot of people call him a shill or he flip flops too much, whatever. I don't really care. He's a nice enough guy. He's young. He's maybe like 20 max. He's young. He's got a lot of people. He's got like 80,000 people following him. It's hard for someone so young to get that much of attention, and not fuck around, like fuck it up a little bit, because it's hard. When you get that many different people with different viewpoints. And that much, and you're going to get attention of people that are just hateful. You're going to end up with people that don't like you and will criticize you. And he can kind of, he's done it before where people criticized him and he's deleted his entire Twitter stuff because he didn't want people to hate him. It's hard. Okay, fair enough. And then there's a whole group of people that were like, save Red Dead. They all started like tweeting a hashtag. Banned by, because I responded to him a few times saying, look, bro, like, just block the people that don't like you. People that are criticizing you, just block them. Not worth the energy getting upset about it. Not worth the energy getting frustrated. And he listened. He liked it. He's done the same thing. He would listen, and he did it. He started blocking people, and then people started making this fucking banned by Ben club. Bro, that was the most saddest fucking group of people I've ever seen. These people started doing a hashtag because they were blocked by him and making all these memes about this guy. Mind you, he's only like 20 years old, 19 at the time, I think. And he's still kind of getting used to the whole idea of having a lot of people on Twitter following him and all that. And they made this whole thing about it. And I was like, bro, that just sums up the kind of people that supported Save Red Dead. It was just a big bunch of people that just wanted to bully each other and attack each other for no reason at all, just for the fact that they could. And that was what really, one of the things that turned me off about that whole group. Because when I saw that, bro, I was like, this group is shit. Like, that's all they were doing was just bullying this guy and attacking him for just because he had what they considered was him abandoning, because mind you, I think he was one of the people that formed the Save Red Dead Online. He was one of the original group or original people. He might have been the original person who started this trend, and because he had a fair few people following him, it built up a trend. And then he abandoned it, as they say, because he felt that it was getting too hateful and that it was going too far. And also because he still likes Red Dead. He still likes Rockstar content. He wants Red Dead to be supported, but it doesn't mean that he has to hate Rockstar just because he likes Red Dead doesn't mean that he always says it as well. Whenever Rockstar does anything about Red Dead, like any sort of small patches and stuff, he's like, support, you need to go back and update Red Dead and add, the features you've done for GTA and stuff. So he still supports it, but he just doesn't want to hate Rockstar because of one thing, just because Red Dead didn't get the support he thought he deserved. And all these people turned on him and started making out this thing, oh, he abandoned us, he's betrayed us. Bro, it's Twitter, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. It's literally a bunch of weirdos on Twitter jerking off each other. And they all turned on him and started trying to make this big thing about, this big hashtag about how, they blocked, they've been blocked by him and that he's a traitor, he's a coward, he's blah, 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 blah. My God, man, Twitter is just an absolute shit show. And this group of people, man, one of the things that turned me off of the Rockstar community is that they're just so obsessed and narcissistic and just about themselves. Like, they're so obsessed with themselves and their own personal brand. Everyone's like jumping on everyone's jerking each other off to get more viewers and more followers. Everyone's like, when one person makes a post about something like someone dying, everyone else jumps on it as well with like almost copy and pasted things about how they really, really love this person. How typical people do on Twitter. But they did it for Ray Liotta, they do it for every update. Whenever something big happens, they all copy each other and try to like make their own personal brands. And I'm like, bro, it's Twitter, it's not that serious. Like, these people are treating Twitter like it's some sort of job, like they're gonna make money from it and they're gonna be famous. And I'm like, bro, it's not. I don't look at Twitch like that. A lot of people do the same thing with Twitch. They look at, oh, I'm gonna make a job out of this, I'm gonna become famous. Bro, it's Twitch. It's not that serious. You're not going to become famous. 99% of people on Twitch and on YouTube and on Twitter, they're not going to become famous or paid or even decently paid. Just have fun. And these people are taking it so serious and trying to build their personal brand. It's mad. No, legit though. Legit. These people 100% remind me of those kind of people that went there and were like 100% thinking that they're going to change everything. Like, they're so self-centered and obsessed with their worldview and with what they think is right. Like, I think a lot of things that the government does is wrong. I don't go to Parliament and try to break in, or I don't try to complain to the company and say, oh, this is shit. I just deal with it. If you don't like something, just don't pay for it. Just don't buy it. If you really want to play it but don't want to pay for it, just pirate it. Like, no one's going to give a fuck if you pirate it, bro. But just do it and be quiet about it. But these people, every little thing, they have to have their opinion on it. And they have to put it out there, and they all build on it, and they all, yeah, it's mad. And anyone who betrays them, they view as a traitor. Anyone who anyone who backs off from it and says, oh no, that's not a good idea, or nah, that's a bit too much, you're a traitor. You're betraying us. You're turning your back on us. Like, these people are insane. I spent a lot of time getting like involved with these people. Not like getting involved because I wasn't part of everything, but I got involved and kind of broke into it to see and to take the piss out of them a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I did take the piss out of them a little bit at the time. And yeah, it's complete nut jobs. It really is. It's some of the most shittiest people I've ever come across, and some part of me is like, it was a complete waste of time to get involved in these losers, but no, it was somewhat fun to kind of take the piss out of them, but nah, they are legit so fucked, and it really put me off the Rockstar community. And mind you, I've been on Twitter since 2009, so I've been involved in different parts of the Rockstar community when it was younger. It was a lot better. I can't lie. If you go back to say to be fair, the internet was a lot better 10 years ago. I feel like the internet has got steadily worse as time's gone on, partly because you have a lot more boomers on it. Not all boomers are bad, but a lot of them aren't the greatest. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that just post the same old shit on their Facebook, like random, random things like random news articles about about how Christmas is being attacked and shit like that. You know, those kind of people that live in their own little bubble and they just spam their Facebook page with it. But I also think a lot of the people I think a lot of young people as well, have grown up in the world where they think that everyone's gonna become famous on the internet. You can become famous, and I think a lot of people have become very self-centered and kind of build this personal brand where, hey, I'm gonna become famous, or I'm gonna make money off this, and they make it their entire identity. Their online identity is their entire identity. And they can't separate the real world and online. And I think, yeah, a lot of people just become a lot more negative overall. And say what they... And because to say what they say... Like, I know the old internet was Wild West, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of crazy shit on the old internet. But I feel like you could go on Twitter and have a civil conversation most of the time. I used to have good conversations with Rockstar fans back in the day on Twitter. And I go on there now and it's just everyone jerking each other off, to the little groups forming together to try to... And they're really gatekeeping, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They have like, they're very... They act like gatekeepers a lot. And if you're not part of their little cliques, you are effectively either ignored or you are attacked for not being part of their clique. And they turn on themselves a lot. Like a lot of them... there was a couple of people I met on there when I was on there, and they were nice enough people. They made some mistakes in the past. Like, they were not... I'm not going to say they were great, they were perfect. They made a lot of mistakes themselves. But they were completely pushed to the side and attacked whenever they would ever say anything or get involved in anything, because they had made the mistake to have said something that the other people didn't like. It wasn't anything serious. It's just that they were no longer... Yeah, it's just like they were it's such gatekeeper-esque community, and I don't know, it was very off-putting when I was there. And there was a few people, there was one guy in particular, I'm not going to say his name, so I don't think he deserves any attention. He himself, he's like the master of gatekeeping, and anyone who said anything that he disagreed with was considered a shill, and he would throw you under the bus. He would have these people that would kiss his ass, and he would throw you under the bus hard, like hard. If you did anything that he didn't like, he would turn on you instantly. Like, I get it, you know, everyone has their own opinions and you can feel quite strongly about them. But typically, I don't really care if someone has a different opinion to me. Like, I'm very fierce about what I think. But, I mean, a lot of people that come here have very different opinions on what Rockstar should do or whatever. And I couldn't care less. As long as you're not rude about it, I couldn't care a fuck what you think. As long as you're not rude about it, you can think whatever you want. But this guy was just, if you ever said anything, mind you, this Ben guy, he got called a shill all the time by this guy. Because he would like, you know, certain things that Rockstar did. And he would get called a shill. And anything you did that wasn't considered to be part of what this guy's view was, yeah, you would get hunted down by everyone. Everyone in the community who supported this guy would go for you, like gun for you. And you would just get attacked and attacked and attacked. And random people that have no business would just throw themselves under the bus for him to make him like them, I guess. Like they would gun for you for no reason. Like they don't even know you, and they would gun for you. So if you went into a Rockstar comment and said something like, "Oh yeah, like chill out," you know, people need to chill out. It's not that serious. Like it's not, you know, Rockstar doesn't deserve this much hate. These people would legit come out of the woodwork and they would gun for you and hunt and would straight up just to harass you over it. And if you dared to say anything this guy didn't like, bro, everyone come for you. It's a mad. He wasn't even that big of a guy. Like, he had a few thousand followers. I think he had 1,000 followers on Twitter. And I remember he replied to me once and he said something about, because he would always make fun if he didn't have a lot of followers on Twitter. And I remember he used to he tried making fun of the fact that I had like 80-something followers on Twitter. And I'm like, bro, look, if we're really gonna start comparing dick sizes, go check my Twitch. I have more followers on my Twitch than all your social media put together. But I didn't say that, because why would I go and try to show off numbers on a social media thing? But this guy was legit, like, trying to fucking measure his dick based upon the fact that he had 1,000 people following on Twitter. Like, bro, Twitter's the least the least impressive thing. Because it's so easy to get fake followers on Twitter. All you gotta do is just tweet in certain threads, and people just start... If you just mention something crypto, and you'll get a shit ton of people following you. Anyway, like, you don't have to do much to get followers on Twitter. And this guy was, like, trying to, like, get one up on me because he had more followers than I did on Twitter. I'm like, bro, this guy is sad. What an actual sadic guy. Couldn't care less how many followers I have on any platform. Hey, West. But this guy was legit, like, trying to one-up me. And, like, trying to act like his opinion means more because he has more followers than I do on Twitter. So, in the end, you know me, I'm very, what's the word for it? I'm very, persistent. You know me, I'm very persistent. And, I got blocked by him. He blocked me. And then he tried to play it off that he won some sort of argument because he blocked me. Mind you, he goes on. Whenever people block him, he always goes on non-stop about people blocking him. But he blocked me. And, yeah. A very interesting guy. Like I said, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's not a big guy in the Rockstar community, but if you ever go on Twitter, you might come across him. And yeah, just the way he talks, he's very narcissistic about everything. He thinks he's like Jesus reincarnate, and he's got this really weird obsession with TV show, like a really weird obsession with his TV show that he always talks about, and he thinks it's the best thing since sliced bread, and that every other TV show doesn't come close. He started going on how about Breaking Bad is nothing compared to this show, and that people who think Breaking Bad's anywhere near as good have no fucking standards and stuff like that. Bro, this guy is so weird. What are we talking about? We're just talking about some guy on Twitter. This guy who's part of the Rockstar community on Twitter. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to give him any sort of attention. He doesn't deserve any attention. But he is the weirdest guy I've ever met on Twitter. Like, he is just so obsessed with what other people do and say on Twitter. And if you say anything positive about Rockstar, hell, anything that isn't just straight up Rockstar's shit, he doesn't like you, and he'll try to get his little buddies on you. He's such a weird individual. I got blocked by him a fair few times on different accounts, so I had my fun with him. It turns out he's very insecure. He's very, very insecure about certain things. So if you ever mention anything he's insecure in, he would block you instantly. It's quite funny. Bro, the amount of people that have made fun of my voice cracking, which used to be one of the things I used to be insecure about on Twitch, is insane. And I've never blocked anyone or banned anyone for taking the piss out of my voice cracking. I'm not insecure about it anymore because I just laugh about it and whatever. But I was a little bit insecure about it a couple of years back. And people used to mention it all the fucking time, bro. My voice used to crack on stream every night, multiple times, man. I don't know why. I have no idea my voice would crack, but it would just crack. And people would mention it all the time. People would be like, oh, your voice cracked. I'm like, bro, yes, I'm well aware of this, but I haven't banned any of them. Because what's the point? Why would you ban people over something or block people over something so stupid? But he would block you over the most stupid things if you ever criticized him. But he was free to criticize everyone else. He could criticize anyone under the sun, but if you ever say anything about him, he would block you so quick. And then he would make out that you're the coward or whatever. I don't know, big guy. Yeah, legit. Yeah, he would always, if you ever said that you like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, he would go, oh, he said he watched it, and he said, because he watched Better Call Saul, he said, oh, it's pretty good, it's good. but it's not as good as this other show. And that if you like this, and then he said, oh, people like that show, they've never seen this show. They've never seen good quality. Honestly, the most stupid shit. Like, who cares? Look, I'll tell you what. My favorite show. What's my favorite show? I don't even know myself. My favorite show. What's my favorite show? Why am I talking to myself like this? My favorite show of all time would be... Oh, it depends though. Oh, Dragon Ball Z. I like Dragon Ball Z a lot. Okay, my favorite real-time live-action show is Stargate. I love Stargate, specifically SG-1 and SG-A. Stargate Universe is another show that came out afterwards. I don't like Stargate Universe. I personally think it's really bad. But if someone says, yeah, I love Stargate. I I adore Stargate. And I say, what Stargate do you like? And they say Stargate Universe. I'm not going to say to them, Stargate Universe? You like Stargate Universe, the worst Stargate of them all? Huh, you're not a real Stargate fan. I'll say, oh, fair enough. That's really cool. Like, yeah, Stargate, you know, I don't care what Stargate you like. If you like Stargate, it doesn't matter what one it is. If you love it, good. You're a fan. This bro, man, this guy, if you don't love this show, and if you like any... And this show had a prequel came out, and he didn't like that as much. And he will criticize anyone about the prequel as well. Bro, I couldn't care less if someone like Stargate... I love Stargate, but I'm not going to say it's better than every other show. I'm not going to go, oh, you like Breaking Bad? Huh, watch Stargate. Oh, you like Stranger Things? Huh, watch Stargate. It's better. Like, who does that shit, man? But this guy would legit always go on about this and mention it on whenever people would bring it up. I like seeing my crew, by the way, all the time. That's fun. Rockstar, do more stuff with the crew, please. With crews.
I hope you're getting high on our supply. That's like...
So, yeah. Why did I just do this? Oh no, he doesn't dislike Stargate. He doesn't dislike Stargate. He dislikes Breaking Bad, and he dislikes Better Call Saul. Well, he doesn't dislike them. He just says they're shit compared to his favorite show. Which, if anyone, I mean, let's face it, I'm not a big fan of Breaking. I love Better Call Saul. I'm not the biggest fan of Breaking Bad. I thought it was a bit boring. In the first 3 seasons of Breaking Bad, I really found boring, and I struggled to get through them. The 4th and the 5th one I loved, but
Everything okay?
it's still an amazing show. Like, it's still a top-notch show, and I think that I don't know how anyone could say that Breaking Bad's not good or shit. How could you say Breaking Bad's shit? Like, it may not be my favorite show, and I've got genuine issues with it, but it's a bloody good show still. Oh yeah, I'll have to ban you now, by the way. No one, how dare you criticize and dislike Stargate in this channel? That's unacceptable. Anyone who dislikes and hates Stargate needs to be banned. I would time you out as a joke, but then I know on YouTube, it probably would just ban you, or it wouldn't like do it properly, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to leave that. If you think about watching Avatar 2, I actually went and watched Avatar 2, and I heard so many people criticize it, right, on Twitter. Bro, I went and saw Avatar 2 with Rebecca last week. I loved it. It was 3 hours and 12 minutes of just escaping the real world, getting lost in the world of the moon and Pandora. I mean, it just was. It just was such a amazing escape. Like, the story wasn't. I can understand why people sometimes complain. What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on with my bike? I can understand why some people may not like the story. But I loved it. Like, I was just mesmerized every second. Just the detail that he put into the world. I was just full on mesmerized the whole time. And I genuinely, as soon as it ended, I was sad. Because it just gave you such an escape. I don't care if the story's not perfect. I mean, someone, remember that, oh, I can't really say it, but there's a scene at the end where there's this big group of people and they just disappear. They just disappear, you know, they're there and then they just disappear and they don't help with the situation. They just disappear off the... They're never seen, you know, they're not seen again until the very, very end sequence. And I was like, yeah, that's actually a good point. That is a big plot hole. Like, they just disappeared out of the blue. They're just not there anymore. But I don't care. It was I was so mesmerized by the visuals and the world building that I couldn't care less. And yet people are talking like it's some sort of flop. Yeah, I genuinely loved every moment of it. It just was gorgeous. It was such an amazing escape of the real world. And I think that's what people need to realize from it. It is an amazing escape. What disappeared? I can't really say it, but you know how there's a big group of people? Remember how there was a big fight scene? I guess I could say that. There was a big fight scene at the end, like towards the end. You know how it always is in films with a big fight scene. And there was a big group of people coming to help along with the main characters, and then they just disappear. You know, they leave the main characters alone, where the main characters all need help, and they just leave them. They just disappear. Like they're involved in this fight, and then they just disappear. They're not there anymore, and it's all down to the main characters to get out. And I guess the whole point of it was to kind of show that it's all about family, and that family is looking out for each other. But I just thought it was very weird how there's all these characters. It's all the family members just there needing help, and everyone else just, yeah, they dipped, they left. I don't know why they left. I don't know if it's if James Cameron just forgot, or if he wanted to show the whole family aspect, or if he wanted to do more and they had to cut it from the film because it's already 3 hours and 12 minutes long. I don't know. But yeah, they just disappeared out of the blue. But I'll tell you what, until I read that on Twitter, I completely didn't know. I didn't notice because I was so mesmerized by the fight scenes. I was so mesmerized by the CGI was absolutely top notch, and I can see what people mean about Marvel. Marvel CGI is so rushed. They need to just spend. They really need more time in Marvel films to get the CGI done well, because the CGI in Avatar is absolutely top notch. No worries, DZ. No worries. Enjoy finishing your season pass, and have a nice time. Enjoy your Christmas and everything, and all the the holiday times. You know what I'm trying to say. Have a good one. But yeah, Avatar was top notch. I would 100% watch it again. I will be buying it in Blu-ray 4K, 100%. It's one of the few films that I think would justify the Blu-ray 4K. I bought Spider-Man No Way Home, because, you know, I'm a big Spider-Man fan, so I had to buy that in Blu-ray 4K. I'll be buying Avatar 2 in Blu-ray 4K. And I also will be buying Avatar 3. I'm going to be watching Avatar 3. I can't wait. I'm glad they recorded it at the same time as Avatar 2. I'm super hyped to watch that when it comes out in 2 years. Yeah, I don't care. Even if, look, the story doesn't have to be the best thing. I like the story still. I still enjoy the different characters. I like the different, parts of the story where things happen. I couldn't care less if the story is not some cinematic masterpiece. It's good enough for me. And the visuals and the world building are top notch. I love Star Wars. I've always loved Star Wars, but the one thing Star Wars really lacks is the world building. They put you on. The only world that's really had any world building is Tatooine in the films. All the other worlds just you're there for a couple of you're there for maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, have a battle there and then leave. I never see it again. But the thing that I love about Avatar is they really build the world up, and I'm so excited to see what else that world has. Like we've seen, forest, we've seen the oceans, Is there going to be something to do with the air? You know, is there going to be something to do with the underground? Maybe there's an underworld. I mean, there's floating mountains, so who knows what else there could be on that moon. And I know that James has mentioned before that he would like to explore the other moons in the it's in Alpha Centauri, I think, the star system. So I'm excited for anything. I mean, the world building is insane. I came out of that movie just wow. And you know what's crazy? This is how I knew that people were mesmerized by it. In the film, no one got up and left. All the other films I've watched in the last year, at least one person has got up and left at some point. Either because they left quite early and I think they just didn't like it, or they left close to the end where maybe they had to leave to go somewhere. No one got up and left at all, the whole film. And no one even got for the... It's a 3-hour and 12-minute film. No one got up for the bathroom except Rebecca. She was the only person in the entire film who got up was Rebecca. Because she needed to go to the bathroom about halfway through. No one else got up to go to the bathroom to leave. And that is... And there was a lot of people there. And there was kids. There was like teenagers. And usually teenagers causing noise. They're usually noisy. They're usually annoying. They, you know, whatever. None of them made noise. They were just sitting there quietly. Everyone was mesmerized the whole time by that film. And that's how I knew that it's done what it's supposed to do. The fact that it just no one got up. All the other films we went to, someone got up at some point, but not in that one. Only Rebecca. And Rebecca usually doesn't get up, but because it's such a long film, she needed to go to the bathroom. But usually she doesn't get up herself, but she wouldn't have got up. She had to leave in a moment in the middle of the film, and she thought it wasn't going to be. It wasn't thankfully too much. Like by the time she got back, it was still progressing, and it was very easy to kind of figure out what was going on. But yeah, great film, really really fun, and I highly recommend anyone who's not seen Avatar go watch it. It's just so much fun. Like, it's just such an amazing world. I love worlds. That's one of the reasons I like Stargate. I can understand why people may not like Stargate West, but for the reason I like Stargate is because I loved the thing I liked about Stargate is that it's the worlds. I know that they had to be quite cheap with it because it was a TV show and they couldn't make that most. And it was back when CGI was much more younger and more expensive. But I always loved the world building. I know they all look like Canadian forests, but I really love just getting lost in a sci-fi world, in a sci-fi universe. And I think James Cameron did a fantastic job with Avatar, and I think that Stargate does it for me as well. I love like near future sci-fi. Like I like sci-fi that's either in the 21st century with like a little bit of futuristic weapons, or in the 22nd century like Avatar, because it's still like close enough to our current era. I love like sci-fi that takes place thousands of years in the future, tens of thousands of years in the future as well. But I really like near future sci-fi stuff that's plausible with our current, you know, what will be plausible with our human technology. All my homies hate Spider. You know what's funny? The whole time I was watching that, I can't lie, I don't know if it's only me, but Spider looks like Tekashi 6ix9ine, like way too much like him, and I every time I looked at him, it just looked like I was looking at 6ix9ine. I don't know what it was. It was the hair, I think, and the face. It just genuinely made me think of him, and it just made me laugh the whole film. Whenever I'd see him, I was like, oh fuck, it's 6ix9ine again. That's what happened to him. He got left on Pandora. he somehow got frozen in ice, so then he came out and he's in Pandora. Oh man, nah, it's such a good film. I don't go and watch films twice in cinemas because of the fact that once I've seen it once, I'm usually fine. But I kind of want to see it again. But if I do see it again, I'll see if I can see it in like... We saw it in standard 2D, but I kind of want to see it in 3D. Oh, you bastard. It's just bully now, where we're throwing newspapers. I really want to see if it's available in 4DX. Because I 100% would watch it in 4DX. I'd pay a lot of money for that. You nearly cried. Yeah, I honestly... I completely understand that. And one of the things as well for me is just... When, you know, when the animals were being hurt... it really made me... It really kind of... Because I obviously, in the real world... I know that animals are getting hunted and attacked and killed off, but it's not really something you kind of think about all the time. But it was really, really sad, like what was happening to the planet, and then thinking about how they treated the people. And I think to myself, Jesus, like that's what we as a people did to other people, like natives across the oceans. You know, we went to Africa and treated people like that. We went to America, Australia, and countries like that and treated people like that. And it's just like. It's really sad, like, seeing, I mean, I've always, I've studied a lot of history, I'm well aware of the atrocities that humans have done to each other, but seeing it like that, it really, I don't know, it makes you realise just how fucked up we are. Yeah, natives and bison, 100%, there's definitely a lot of that in it, yeah, 100%. And the way they showed it, the way that, you know, man, like I know that no one's perfect. I know that, I know that, I don't know, I just think it's sad. And the fact that we're still doing stuff like that, that's what really saddens me, is that all that stuff is in the past, you know, right? But then it's not, because we still do that shit to people. We still exploit people in other countries to do our dirty work. And then we still exploit animals, and the animals die, and we treat like shit, and we pollute our planet, the one thing I loved was how clean the water looked, skies, everything was clean. And if that was on Earth, I mean, they did film it in water. That's what was so amazing about it. They filmed it off California, I think. But I bet you they had to remove a bunch of trash and CGI out a lot of the trash, because if you go anywhere in the world now, the oceans have trash in it. Like, there's a beach on the UK that I was watching a show about. And they have to go on the beach and comb out, like, there's lots of volunteers that go on the beach and comb out plastics, because there's just plastics all over the beach and in the seaweed. I just think, geez, like, that planet is so beautiful, and people are they're gonna ruin it. The humans are ruining it. They said that the Earth is dying and they need to build a new colony. But we're doing that exact same thing to our own planet. It's so sad. That film should be something that politicians have to watch, like, on repeat, because they don't get it. Yeah, it's really, really sad. Fantastic film. If I can see it in 4DX, I will consider going, because yeah, I really want to experience it in its fullest. Oh, Gerald wants this. Fair enough, Gerald. Oh, that didn't go in. Thankfully, there's not a limit on those. That would be really scummy if you missed it and that was it. You lost money. Yeah, you go on Twitter though. To go back to what the original thing was, if you go on Twitter, bro, the amount of people that talk shit about the film and say it's like, oh, it's treating it like it's flop because it isn't already over $1 billion. I'm like, bro, it's the post-pandemic. It's still, like, the cinema still hasn't recovered to pre-pandemic levels yet. And in a post-pandemic world, it's already done amazing. It's done absolutely amazing. And then people always quote the whole $2 billion that James needs to make back to make it even, and I'm like, bro, that's for both Avatar 2 and 3. Like, James filmed Avatar 2 and 3 back to back, and I think he did a bit of 4 as well. So it's not just for Avatar 2, it's for all of those. It's for 2 and 3 and part of 4, I imagine. So if each film makes at least $1 billion, it's easy, it's done. And there's no way it won't make $1 billion. There's no way it won't. And then there's all the Blu-rays, there's all the DVDs, there's the streaming, there's lots of stuff they'll make more. Merchandise, video games. So I know they're making a Avatar video game. So it really annoys when people say, "Oh, it's flopped. It's not done as well as it could. It's terrible." Shut up. It's a good damn film. Leave it alone. Just because it isn't at $3 billion already doesn't mean it's bad. Just because you may not like it as much as the first doesn't mean it's bad.
I just restored this.
Yeah, no more Henry Cavill. That, I'm not gonna lie, that has made me heartbroken. I am so sad that it's happened. I understand why James Gunn has done what he's done, because obviously it makes sense to start it fresh. But the way that, from what it seems from the leakers, the Suicide Squad is still canon, or at least the Suicide Squad people are canon. Peacemaker and all that's canon, which is fine with me. But then all the other stuff, anything that wasn't touched by James Gunn is not canon anymore, will not be canon going forward. Like, Henry's not in anymore. You know, Jason's going to be rebooted as, what's his name, Lobo, which to be fair, is quite accurate. I think he'll do a good job as that. But no Henry Cavill, man. That's so sad, and especially after seeing Black Adam, you know, I was so excited. The way that Henry's being treated by so many people is heartbreaking. Because The Witcher, he loves the Witcher series, and they treated him like, they didn't give him the... They didn't treat The Witcher properly. Yeah, just, he's, yeah. I'll give it a go. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll give it a go. I'll give James Gunn's version a go. And to be fair, if he can reboot it and make it a lot more, like, successful like Marvel, where it's consistent, everything goes together, it's not like delay after delay, you know, make sure he recruits actors who don't end up saying and doing stupid things like Ezra Miller. If he can reboot it and do it well, I'm going to be okay with it in the long term. But I'm going to be very reserved. I'm not going to go and I'm not going to like go out my way to get into it. You know what I mean? Just because I don't trust it yet. But if he can pull it off, yeah, the Flash is still going ahead, but I imagine that they'll reboot it. I have a feeling that the Flash will be what reboots it. I have a feeling they're going to reshoot some aspects of that to end the current DC universe and reboot it, or like to you know, move it into the new world. They seem to have cut, from what the rumors are, they've cut Batman, like Ben Affleck's Batman from Aquaman, and which is sad because Ben was just, I think, gonna come back. I think Ben had finally got to the point where he was excited to to actually get into it again, and that's all ended now. Henry's obviously done now, so I'll see how they reboot it, and I'll give it a go. But if it ends up being the same same kind of quality as it has been recently, with like just not doing it properly, and it's just been kind of back and forth. If it ends up being consistent and it ends up being much more like MCU in the terms of, you know, it's all connected, good continuity, they don't rush things, it's happened, but I'll be okay with it in the long run. But in the meantime, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, The Rock, I remember The Rock was talking about how there's a new hierarchy, but because Black Adam 2 didn't do anywhere near enough, it didn't make enough money to to make much of a profit, they basically cancelled it. But yeah, like Flash is still going ahead, Aquaman 2 is still going ahead, and then Shazam 2 is going ahead. So once those come out, I think that's it. Once those 3 films have come out, that's the end of that era. I could see Shazam being moved into the new universe because it's kind of separate already, and that's good. They should definitely move Shazam into the new universe, keep it. But James apparently is going to be announcing some of the movies in January. Some of the movies that will be coming in this new slate. So I'm excited, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit hesitant. But I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. If they do it justice, then fair enough. And they can always, if they do a new universe, they can always bring back Henry and The Rock in the future if it's successful. They could just bring it in from another universe, do a multiversal story. But I'll give him a shot. I'll give him a chance. I don't want to be too critical because I have been too critical of certain movie directors or certain things before, and then I end up regretting it when I end up thinking this is good. Like, I remember being very critical of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I said I would never watch those, and I ended up loving them when I did watch them. And I remember saying the same thing with the MCU Spider-Man. I was saying, oh, I don't really care for him. I don't really want to see him. I want Andrew Garfield back. And I ended up liking Tom Holland. And we ended up getting Toby and Andrew Garfield back. So, you know, and rumors are that they'll be coming back in future MCU films in the Secret Wars and all that. So, look, I'll give him a chance. If they can pull it off, I'll be okay with it. But if he ruins it, if he doesn't do it well and it's just a waste, nah. If he doesn't do it well and it just ends up being a waste of time, just end it at that point. Yeah, exactly. They treated him like shit on Witcher. They didn't do it properly. Witcher, he loves Witcher. He's such a nerd. I don't. A lot of people hate that word, but he's such a nerd. He loves it. He loves all the stuff. He deserves. If you're ever making a series which he's on, and he knows the source material, and you then contradict it, bro, what are you doing? How can you contradict him when he knows the source material? How can you change what? I just don't get these people. So yeah, he'll do Warhammer justice, I already know. There's rumours that he could be James Bond in the future. 100%, I would love to see him as James Bond. I think he has the look, his chin, his stature, he just looks like James Bond. And I also think that Marvel should pick him up. I think 100% they need to find... There's a lot of Marvel characters still to come. They need to pick him up for one of them. They need to pick it because 100% Henry could be a fantastic addition to the MCU. They need to find him a role and they need to get him in there quick because now that he's not going to be on DC anymore, at least not for a long time. If I was Marvel, I'd be like, look, Henry, get on with us, yeah. Get going. We'll give you a role. We'll give you a smash hit role. Get out there, do your best. Do it justice. And I would then I would be mocking the fuck out of DC after that. Like, oh, we got your former biggest, your biggest star, Superman himself, is now in the MCU. Yeah, like they could give him a villain role. I don't care what they give him. He would easily pull off a villain role as well. Like he would easily pull. Yeah, like I've heard people say Doctor Doom, and I think he could do it. 100%, he could pull off a villain role easy. And I think it'd be such a funny contrast to seeing him as Superman, as the hero, the shining beacon. Like how we had. I mean, I liked it when we saw a bit of dark Superman. So I think he could definitely pull off a proper villainous role. I hope we get that. I'm hoping. I think yeah, they need to do it. Hey Spade, still here are you? I'll be off soon, mate. I'm just finishing up. But yeah, they definitely need to hook him up. They need to grab him when right now he's on Warhammer. He'll do that justice, I know. Maybe get him as Bond. I don't know what Amazon and MGM are thinking, but he would be great as Bond. Although I would still also like the guy who played Heimdall in Thor. I really like him as well. I think he could play James Bond as well. one of those two is James Bond, please. And then yeah, get Henry in for a role in the MCU. I would be completely fine with that. I really like Henry, and I think he just got absolutely shafted. He's a really nice person, and I love that he's really into nerdy things, I suppose. You know, he's not just an actor who plays a role and that's what he doesn't really care. He genuinely cares about these things. Yeah, so I hope that he'll get some stuff with the MCU and other things, but yeah, he definitely deserves it. I think he'll be back as Superman one day. I definitely can see them if the James Gunn series turns out well. I could see them bringing him back in the future as like another multiversal story. But which it could be interesting if they did that with Jason Momoa, because it'd be interesting seeing if he does end up playing Lobo or whatever his name is. It'd be interesting seeing Aquaman and Lobo, and they're like the same person. It's kind of what I want to see with the MCU. I really want them to bring back Chris Evans as the Human Torch in one of the future multiversal stories. I would love to see Chris come back. And I can see the jokes they could pull off there. But it's little Easter eggs like that, I don't know, I just think that's kind of fun. You have to, you know, obviously it's good to have a serious story, but you can also kind of, taking yourself too seriously all the time is a bit boring. Like, I like when you can try to make things a little bit funny, but also have a very serious story. Like, I liked No Way Home. That was serious, but there was little moments in No Way Home where, like, the little jokes about Toby using, you know, where his web comes from, you know, and where else on the body his web comes from. I love little things like that. Like, it's just, it's a serious situation, but it was just funny. It was just charming. So they you know, there's nothing wrong having like a bit of a joke here and there. I can see why some people get fed up with some of the MCU Disney Plus shows are a bit too silly, but I don't really care myself because I don't mind if stuff is a little bit silly here and there. Like if they make Daredevil silly, no, I'll be pissed. If they make Daredevil the same star as like I liked him in She-Hulk, I loved him in She-Hulk because it made sense for the show. If they make him like that all the time in Daredevil, no, I'm done. But if they, I don't mind if it's a little bit silly here and there. I do think Daredevil and Matt, you know, Matt can be a little bit jokey at times, and I've got nothing against that. But I hope they don't make the whole show like that. I'd be so pissed. I love Daredevil, bro. I want to see some. Apparently, Charlie Cox was talking about how the new series probably won't be as gory. He says that it should probably be as serious. It should still be serious, and it can still be serious like the old ones, but it probably won't be as gory. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't need to watch. I don't need to watch Kingpin smashing someone's head in a door again. I have nothing. I did enjoy that, but I don't need to necessarily see it to be involved in the story. But then someone made the joke that if it was the MCU Kingpin, if it was like Kingpin as he was in Hawkeye, he would have done that whilst making like 3 jokes at the same time. I was like, yeah, that's probably true. He probably would have done that scene, smashing that poor guy's head in, whilst joking. As long as they do, I have faith in that series. I think it's like 20 episodes or 18 episodes or whatever. That's ridiculous. I mean, I can only imagine it's going to be awesome if they do, and if they're an hour long. I hope they're an hour long. I hope they're not like 20-minute episodes. I hope they're like an hour-long episode, and it's just like some really big extended I hope they involve all the other defenders as well. And bring, you know, kind of, it's not just Daredevil, but kind of reignited the Defender story. That'd be great. I'd be all for that. Yeah, there's so many people out there that criticize things like She-Hulk for being too silly, but then you have, in the DC side of things, you have really serious stuff like Superman, and you have Suicide Squad, which is ridiculously silly, and I don't know, I feel like you can have both, as long as you do it well, as long as it's not too in your face, and it can be fun though. And I'll never forget Peacemaker with the comment about how he has a toilet seat on his head. Yeah, stuff like that. I like stuff like that. I find it funny. Like I know some people get really annoyed about stuff like that, but I don't know. I just find it funny. I don't want to watch a serious thing all the time. I don't want to be watching Endgame all the time. You know, where it's like, oh god, this is the end if you don't do it properly. If you fuck this up, it's over. I just thought like Ant-Man 1 and 2, for example, are quite... They're serious at times, but they're quite funny. Ant-Man 3, on the other hand, looks like really serious. Like, from that trailer for Ant-Man 3, bro, it looks... Yeah, it's looking a bit mad, I'm not gonna lie. So even in like a movie and it's set in the same series can change quite drastically between them. But the only thing I really want from the MCU is I want them just to focus on the CGI. Just please, you know, you're making these films, and these films are going to be out there for 20, 30, 40 years before they probably try to reboot it. Like, they're not going to be able to reboot the entire MCU. So these are going to be a legacy. Like, watching, you know, kids will watch in 20, 30, 40 years, will watch the films that their parents watched as kids. And their grandparents watched as kids. And then, you know, so it's going to be a multi-generational thing. You'll all get together and watch it as a family, and, you know, you'll be watching Iron Man, and your grandpa watched Iron Man as a kid, and your father watched Endgame as a kid. And you're going to see stuff like that. And then you're going to, you know, it's going to be multi-generational. And so if the CGI isn't done well, and the CGI ends up being aging really badly, then yeah, it's what's even the point? Like Avatar 1 still looks amazing, even the original release still looks fantastic. I know it remastered it recently, but you can go and put Avatar 1 in, even on a DVD, and it looks fantastic. Whereas if you go back and watch old CGI in other films back then, Scorpion King, things can look quite bad. And even in it, I mean, to be fair, the early MCU films look quite good actually. I feel like the increased the fact they use more practical effects back then, like Spider-Man. Yeah, certain bits can look a bit iffy, but the practical effects of those older films will age much better than old CGI often does. But like all the new films are very CGI heavy, so they should put a lot more time and effort into making the CGI on. Like Avatar will look fantastic in 10 years, or Avatar 2 will look great in 20 years. But some of the MCU films, especially in Phase 2 and especially Phase 4, actually. Phase 4 has been very bad for CGI. So when people look back at like Phase 4, they're gonna be like, well, this is not the best. You know, the one thing I'm just amazed we ever got. I still can't believe we got this. It was a Snyder cut of Justice League. I'm just amazed we ever got that. I'm gonna take that I'm just gonna be happy that we got that, because there's so many things I want to see. Like, I know they've recorded a bunch more scenes in No Way Home for Spider-Man, and I wish they would give us like a full cut of it. And oh my god, Spider-Man 3, apparently there was a very different take on it at one point. It was a lot darker. There was a lot of recorded footage that they did, and they never did anything with it. I beg, if Sony went and re-released a Raimi cut of Spider-Man 3 with the dark side of it, where Venom absorbs Eddie's body and all that's left is a bunch of bones, bro, I would go nuts. I would be in absolute love with that. But we don't get stuff like that. Usually these old footage just gets thrown away or stored and no one ever does anything with it. But Snyder Cut, we got the Snyder Cut. I still can't believe we got that. So, I'm happy. I really wish we'd get the proper director's cut of the original Suicide Squad. That was apparently a little bit different. Probably never will. It's very rare that you get these like proper director's cuts that aren't just like a little addition of some cut things, proper, where the story changes. So I'm glad. I'll just be thankful. That's the way to be. Just be thankful for the things you get. Don't wish for the things you couldn't get. Just be thankful for the things you did. But yeah, Sony, if you're ever listening, if this ever hits or gets to someone who's very high up to Sony, yeah, please, could we get Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, like, extended director cuts, like, every bit of footage? And could we also get any sort of extra footage for Amazing Spider-Man, and also, you know, could you just record Amazing Spider-Man 3, so we can finish that trilogy off? And, you know, could we also get Spider-Man 4? could we please? Yeah. Not much. I'm not asking for much. I just want more Spider-Man, okay? I'm like J. Jonah. I want Spider-Man. I'm not gonna shout it because it's quite late, but like how he is in the in that moment where he's like, I was wrong about Spider-Man. He was a hero, and then Spider-Man steals his suit back and J. Jonah goes mad. That's such a good scene.
Jesus.
I like how they did him. They did him so dirty though in the current Spider-Man. Like they brought him back. They brought back J.J. Simmons, or J.K. Simmons, sorry, which is awesome. And then they made him a crazy nutter like Alex Jones type. And I mean, it's very accurate to the Monday world, so that's cool. But I feel like they didn't so dirty by doing that, because he's such a nutter. I wish that they had had a moment where the old JJ, like the JJ from Raimi verse, and the JJ from the MCU met each other, and like the JJ from the Raimi verse would start like be disgusted by him, like, oh, you're a crazy lunatic, you're a maniac, just like criticizing him, talking shit about him. Like even this JJ's too much for him. Because I always got the feeling that the JJ from the Raimi verse is actually a good guy deep down. Like he's very obsessed about Spider-Man. He's way too obsessed about Spider-Man. But when the Green Goblin came to say, you know, to ask him, but when I say ask, more like demand, who is the photographer of Spider-Man, he could have given up Peter the instant his life was threatened. He could have given him up so quick, and the whole time he knew who the photographer was, and he didn't give him up. Even when he was being choked, he didn't give up the name of Peter. And that's how I know that deep down he is a good guy in that Raimi verse, because he could have given up Peter, saved his own skin, but he had the integrity and the decency not to give up his source, which I always respect. That's why I always respect that JJ. As much as he's a raving lunatic, he should be part of the Save Red Dead hashtag. But no, that version of JJ is cool. The JJ on in the MCU though is a bit of a dick, and by a bit of a dick I mean an extreme dick. But you know, just it's, you know, sign of the times. It's a different era. But hey, I love Spider-Man. To me, Spider-Man is my favorite of all heroes. I always have fond things about Spider-Man to say about Spider-Man, but I love all the stuff. I never thought 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, that I would ever love characters like Black Panther or Ant-Man or Captain Marvel. I like the character, I just don't like the actress. But I like the character. Kamala, She-Hulk, you know, half these characters I never even heard of when I was younger. And I mean, I never even thought I'd like Iron Man. I remember seeing Iron Man, hearing about Iron Man for the first time, thinking, oh, who cares about Iron Man? And yeah, now everyone does. So yeah, it's crazy how the world's changed. Comic book heroes are everywhere now. Crazy. Oh well. I wonder if it'll ever stop. Like, you know how like we look back at the 80s for like 80s action films and stuff like that? I wonder if we'll ever look back at this era, like late 2000s. I guess 2000s was when they started doing like X-Men and Spider-Man. Up to, you know, will there be a time where they all fall out of fashion? And then we'll look back at like that 30-year period, 30-year period as just kind of being a period of comic book films. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about. Alright, anyway, I've been blabbing on about that way too long. I get lost in my train of thought with all that stuff. I just like talking about that kind of thing. I like just kind of thinking about it. We live in great times for that. We live in shit times when it comes to politics, but we live in great times when it comes to our media. Anyway, except for GTA, which is dire times. We need new GTA Rockstar. Anyway, so we've hit 1.19 billion. My goal is another 9 million by New Year. Or 8.4 million by New Year. Tomorrow I will be on again. So tomorrow is Christmas Eve. I'll be on again. Christmas Day I'll be on, but I'll be on late. And Boxing Day I'll be on, but I'll be late. And then the rest of the week I don't know. But I'll be on. I'll be playing GTA every day, I think. I like playing GTA at the holidays, and I want to kind of just... I'm going to be playing GTA a lot now, and then once New Year comes, I'm going to stop playing. Once the snow's gone, I'm going to stop playing for a bit. I'll play maybe once a week until the next update, or the next mini update where they add the other missions and the garage and stuff. And then I will, yeah, pause until the next update. How's the Acid Lab business? It's okay if you upgrade it. The problem with the Acid Lab, actually, thank you. Actually, it reminds me, I need to do another DAX mission before I go off. The problem with the Acid Lab, you need to upgrade. Like with all businesses, you need to upgrade it. But to upgrade it, you need to do these missions first. So once you've upgraded, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yep. Just
Thank you for by the way, thank you for coming in and just asking that because I was gonna completely forget about needing to do that mission. Wait, where's my bike? Oh fuck. Regrets. I need to do the mission so I can unlock the things, and I completely forgot. So now I can do it before I go off. Hey Joe. Excellent. But yeah, the business is okay. It's once you've upgraded it, it's decent. You can sell it. It's very easy to sell. You have one bike. It's very easy to sell. It's on double money at the moment, so it makes a fair bit of money. And you can also buy supplies when you're not at the business. One of the best things they've ever done is you can call this guy here, Mutt. And you can call him and ask him to get supplies for you, to like buy supplies, and then you don't have to go to the business to restock. So definitely one of the best things about the update, about the business. Oh, a weaponized vehicle, huh? What vehicle is that? Is that a Sparrow? it's a nice complementary addition. It's a nice complement to bunker and nightclub. It's definitely a lot better than MC businesses. I would say it's like it fits in nicely with bunker and nightclub. I don't love it because I just don't really care for new businesses, but it fits in nice. If you have like a routine where you sell bunker, you sell nightclub, you can fit this in and it sells very nicely. You have the business, but you need to do the mission. Yeah, you need to do the mission to unlock the upgrade, sadly. But at the moment, if it's on double money, it's fine. It makes a lot. It makes like 400 and something grand in a solo when it's on double, so it's actually really, really good. I'd highly recommend doing it even when it's not upgraded. When it's not upgraded, when it's on double. Oh, what is he in? Is that an AP? No, that's an insurgent, isn't it? I love when the buzzard rocket tries to turn really sharply, like it's like it's trying. It's trying really hard. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, don't play with that guy, bro. He's a bit. Oh my god, he's crap, bro. Bro, that guy is crap, bro. You see that? He didn't give a shit. It's my bad, really. I shouldn't have been flying so close, but whatever. We won't talk about that. Alright, we'll finish this up and then I'll go off. Once I got this mission done, I'm going to be watching Home Alone on Discord. Spade is the reason he's been coming in every so often asking about the movie and the music is that we're supposed to watch Home Alone tonight in Discord, and I was supposed to like finish this about 12ish, and it's now almost 1. So yeah, Spade is very, very insistent that I finish. So I need to finish, and then I'll go have a shower. Ready for that. So Spade, if you're here, mate, and you're hearing me, I'll be ready in about 20 to 30, somewhere around there. Maybe not that long. Depends how long it takes me to finish this mission. I've been doing a lot of cleaning today. I was on a bit late. I was going to stream a little bit earlier today, but I had so much cleaning to do. I've got box loads of cardboard and all sorts I need to throw out. So I've been ripping up old boxes and throwing things out. So, not you know, people might say, oh, in anticipation of getting some gifts. No gifts, but I just have stuff I need to clean up after all these years. I can't lie though, I was tempted by a Series S. I saw a Series S back in Black Friday on for 200 quid, or 180 quid. I was like, oh, that's tempting, but the thing is, when am I ever going to use a Series S, you know, when am I ever going to use an Xbox? Because I have a PlayStation 5, I have a PC, I have a Switch. I don't use the Switch, but I have one. When am I ever going to use an Xbox? But I can't lie, I was tempted. If it had a disc drive, I would have got it. If there was a Series S with a disc drive, 100% I would have got it, because I could then play my old 360. Because that's why I want to get a Series S or an X, Series X or an S. It's because I want to play my old 360 games. Primarily Red Dead Redemption 1. But I don't want to have to buy it again. I want to use it on disc. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll wait and see if Microsoft ever releases a disc drive of an add-on. Apparently, rumours are, these are rumours, you know how it goes, rumours, they're usually bullshit, but apparently there's rumours that Sony's going to do a disc drive for, they're going to start releasing a slim PS5, which only has, it's only digital, and if you want a disc drive, you've got to buy a disc drive separate. And I was thinking, that's a great idea, because then you can buy the PS5 digital, and then you can add a disc drive, and the same thing could be the Series S. If you could buy a Series S and then get a disc drive, genius. But unfortunately, at the moment, if you buy a digital console, there's no way to upgrade it. So, and I don't really want to buy a Series X because what am I going to do with a Series X? Like, when am I ever going to play enough Xbox games to justify a Series X? I'd play maybe 1 or 2. That's about it. So I was thinking, yeah, a Series S makes way more sense for me. Oh my god, they have a... Bloody hell. Yeah, by the way, they have lock-on rockets that blow you up. Oh my god. God, I felt like I had fought an oppressor user. Oof. You prefer PS5 and Switch because when you get bored of games on PS5 you play Switch or vice versa? Yeah, I mean that could work. The problem is with a lot of cons with the Xbox and the PS5 is that right now there's not much difference between them other than a few exclusives. That's going to change more, I guess, in the future when more games, especially if they buy Activision. I imagine a lot of games will be Xbox exclusive. But if they keep releasing them on PC, I'm just going to keep buying them on PC, honestly. Like, I prefer playing games like Fallout on PC anyway, so it's fine. But, and like, the kind of games I would play from Activision. I mean, obviously, it would be nice to play Crash and Spyro on PlayStation, because it's more, like, home for it, but it's not the end of the world.
Don't.
But yeah, I was really tempted, but I decided against it because I just cannot. And I don't have any room for it. Like, where would I even put a Series S? Like, I know it's small. It's very small, actually. But it would have to go on the floor, and I don't really want to put it on the floor. I swore that I'd buy an Xbox One at some point. I never did. I never got around to buying an Xbox One. So maybe I should buy a Series S as like kind of a make-up to myself. Like, oh, you promised you get an Xbox One, you didn't. Buy a Series S. Buy it to make up. Bloody hell, this is like going against Rambo, bro. You have a chance. Everything in this game is designed for armored vehicles now. If you're on foot, you're dead. Who are you? Why are you up here? Go away. Oh, he's really taking the piss, isn't he? Oh my... You like the Pokemon and Mario games on Switch, but PlayStation's your main console? Yeah. I get that. PlayStation's my main console too. I grew up with PlayStation, so... I always will be a PlayStation person. Although I used to be very big into Nintendo handhelds when I was younger. I used to love the Game Boy Advance, Color obviously. But I kind of lost interest on the DS. And then I got a 2DS years later, just to catch up with any games. And then I bought a Switch day one. And I've only ever really played it to play a few games. Like, I like the Switch, but the problem with the Switch for me is that I just don't have time to play it. Like, if I'm going to play a game, it's usually going to be a PS... Because it's always PlayStation exclusive now. I've got Horizon to play over the Christmas period, for example. So I never have any time to play the Switch, so... Are these guys 200 XP? Bloody hell. This is pain. I'm not gonna lie, this is some real pain. And it's because it's snow, you can barely see anyone. It's so frustrating. Oh my god, bro. Stop. Look, come here. I swear to god, bro. I can barely see this guy. I need to get my night vision goggles out. Bro, go in the water, please. Thank you. Oh my god, man. This is actually... I mean, to be fair, this is fun. But it's pain. Yeah, no worries. Have a good Christmas and everything. Happy New Year and all that to you as well. Have a nice dinner as well. Oh my god, this is actually ridiculous. Someone's gonna shoot me in the head, aren't they? Any second now. Any second. Oh, I don't trust that. I do not trust that one bit. Alright, let's launch a little grenade in there. Pain. Real pain, this. This section is true and utter pain. It probably isn't so bad in normal weather, but in snow it's such pain. I feel like when explosives are used against a player, they kill you instantly no matter where you are, but when you use explosives against the AI, it barely does anything. They just get shaken a little bit. They like shaked around, you know, they move a little bit and they're like, ah, it's fine. Maybe they fall over. But when explosives are used against you, they will be nowhere near you and you'll die instantly. Alright, let's get this motherfucker. Oh no. I like the XP though. Alright, so I've killed the reinforcement. Oh no, now there's more? Oh my. Bro! What is this level? Bro! What is this level? What is this? There we go. Forget escaping them. Just murder them all. Take the ammo. 21 grand. Bloody hell. Alright, can I just say, fact Dax. And fact Merryweather too. $50 grand my ass. That's not a lot. Alright, so we're at 8 out of 10. Bloody hell, only 8 out of 10. 2 more to go before we unlock the upgrade. But I will keep going until I get platinum. So probably, was it 15, 20 maybe? Maybe 25. Source supplies, 8 out of 10 as well. Excellent. We're moving. So tomorrow we will continue with that. And I might do Cayo Perico again tomorrow. Because I was going to do it today, but I did the casino preps instead. So, and I did a bunch of sales, so I'll do that tomorrow. And if depending on how many people are on the other days, we might do a Pacific Standard in the snow. If everyone's on at Christmas Eve, we'll do a Pacific Standard. Alright, anyway, that's enough for tonight. I'm gonna lose my mind otherwise. Spade, I will be on to do Home Alone in, 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh shit, is that the time?
Everyone else, hope you will have a lovely
Got a meeting
night.
at the studio.
Take care. If I don't speak to any of you before Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, enjoy your Christmas. Enjoy your other holidays if you don't, and have a happy new year.